630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
At CVS Pharmacy at Target, we put a little extra heart into everything we do, like actively looking to save you money. Generics, 90-day refills, even rewards. Get a $5 Target coupon for every 10 prescriptions. On your next Target run, stop by CVS Pharmacy. We're the place with the big heart. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other restrictions apply. See cvs.com/extracare-target or the pharmacy for details. CVS Pharmacy at Target. Health is everything.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
AM 560, The Answer.
And just to close the loop on this. Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
Which one was your favorite?
That's the first dance of the couple tomorrow.
Did you like the police officer, the Indian,
No.
the construction worker?
Don't
Any
like-
of them?
no.
Thought they were all creepy?
Not a Village People fan. Don't like my
There was-
construction workers in short shorts. You know what I mean?
It's kind of a safety hazard, you know? I mean,
Sure, that's right. That's exactly right. That is not OSHA compliant.
No, not at all. Just so you know, Meghan Markle's ex-husband, who's a filmmaker, Trevor, guess what he's working on right now? He's working on a film about a divorced American mother who moves to London to marry a British royal.
Where did he get the idea? But I understand that story has a happy ending for the divorcee. One, his ex-wife, who marries the British royal, gets beheaded because you don't do divorce there. You go to the guillotine. And then number two, the British royal his ex-wife marries turns out to then marry her ex-husband, and they live happily ever after on his money financed by the taxpayers. So I look forward to that on Lifetime.
They're not having a fruitcake for their wedding cake.
I think they are.
No.
Oh.
No. They're having a lemon chiffon cake that says 44 pounds of butter, 46 pounds of sugar in it. I mean, they're breaking with tradition. The Royals always have a fruitcake. Always. This is big news.
Do I have to take all of the easy ones? Can somebody else respond to the Royals always have a fruitcake? Do I have to do all of the work here?
312-642-7710. 5600 is our turnkey debt parental line. 64636. Type in DA. Then a quick comment. But I mean, we watched Harry grow up, and then when his mom died, he just.
We did?
Well, yeah, I did. And she used to call him the backup. Come here, backup to the throne, because, you know.
Yeah.
Williams was
No,
gonna
I
be the
forgot.
king. Come here, my little backup.
I
You're my
forgot-
favorite backup. Come here.
Forgot what a
But I
madcap
felt-
Lady Di was.
Oh, I love Princess Diana. Come on, you
There
thought
we
she
go.
was beautiful, poise and grace, her own woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What and what about the guy?
Camilla?
No, the other guy.
Prince William?
The guy that was killed with her.
Oh, Dodi Fayed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's dead. He made the mistake of
Spoil.
hiring
You're-
a drunk
you're such a
bodyguard slash chef.
Remembering Dodi Fayed.
It's such a
this morning.
compassionate woman you
Yeah.
are.
She blames him.
Wait
for
a
the
minute.
death.
Have you had fruitcake this morning?
Dodi Fayed and his family hired that drunk, drug-using chauffeur slash bodyguard who was driving out of control, didn't make sure they had their seatbelts on, and just he killed Princess Diana. It's his fault.
Well, I don't think Dodi Fayed was real
Fayed's
happy
dead,
about how
too.
that turned out either.
No, I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
But now they're together wherever they are.
Okay. All right. Well, coming up on the E Network, 5:38.
Yes. What are we doing?
We're
What
gonna
not to wear this weekend?
we're gonna mix it up with some news, political talk. We're gonna try that on for size. Sarah Sanders responds to the hue and cry over President Trump's animals comment at 5:38.
And is it a spy or a source? We'll explain. But into the newsroom we go now. Here's Mike Scott.
52 degrees. We had some clouds this early morning. One person in custody after someone apparently fired shots at one of President Trump's golf clubs in Florida. Police in Doral say the shots were fired early this morning near the Trump National Resort near Miami. Hawaiian officials are warning of more powerful explosions from the Big Island's Kilauea volcano. An eruption sent an ash cloud about 30,000 feet into the air yesterday. The data company at the center of the Facebook privacy scandal is filing for bankruptcy. Cambridge Analytica and its British parent said earlier this month they were shutting down immediately and beginning Chapter 7 proceedings. A new director of the CIA is the first woman to head the spy agency.
The ayes are 54, the nays are 45, and the nomination is confirmed.
The Senate confirming Gina Haspel on a 54-45 vote. Haspel has spent 33 years as a CIA operative and manager. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says a student and a teacher were killed, 43 others hurt, following a horrific bus crash. It happened around 10:30 yesterday on I-80 near Mount Olive, New Jersey. The school bus was carrying students from Eastbrook Middle School in Paramus. It collided with a dump truck, ejecting people from the bus, completely destroying that vehicle. The bus driver apparently making an illegal turn. Student who was shot by a school resource police officer after firing a gun at Dixon High School is due in court today. Matthew Milby is charged with 3 counts of felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. Authorities are still searching for a 3-month-old girl and her mother after they went missing this week from their Chicago neighborhood. DCFS believes Royalty Wolf's biological mother took the young child during a supervised visit on Monday. Police do believe the child may be in danger. And a well-known concert booking and ticket-selling giant is planning to build 5 entertainment venues on Chicago's north side. Live Nation is announcing it will also help pay for the construction of the entertainment district within the Lincoln Yards development. Cubs owner Tom Ricketts, you may recall, recently made public that he's involved in a joint venture to bring a United Soccer League expansion team to a proposed 20,000-seat stadium along the Chicago River. White Sox over the Rangers 4-2. Last night's game between the Cubs and Braves in Atlanta postponed due to rain. The News is a service of the all-new Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. Celebrate the grand opening of Ray CDJR in Fox Lake with huge Memorial Day grand opening savings on all new vehicles. Plus, on May 19th, they're partnering with Wagging Hearts for a pet adoption event and lunch from the Slide Ride food truck. It's big. Visit raycdjr.com for details. 5:32, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says, put up or shut up.
People who aren't suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are saying, show us the money, show us the collusion, because that was the whole basis for this investigation. The whole special counsel is based on that. It wasn't Paul Manafort's bank deals. All of that stuff is totally incidental and separate from the Russian collusion investigation.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies we have.
Sure. Right, Al.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Well, I have groupies.
A rich fantasy life is important.
This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
5:35, let's get an update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Oakbrook Terrace, shot for a crash on 22nd at 83. Edens, the Kennedy, looking good right now. Reversibles are open inbound of the Kennedy. On Eisenhower, I got a 2-minute delay, 17th to Des Plaines Avenue. On Stevenson, heavy cast to 83 and Harlem to Central. 37 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. On Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57's okay. Bishop Ford, 21 minutes, 80-94 to the Verge. Tollways clear. Traffic service. Discover Student Loan. Figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. A pleasant day ahead. Sunshine will give way to clouds later this afternoon. We may see a drizzle move into the area, especially after 5 in the afternoon. High near 72, rain and drizzle, 56 overnight. Little morning rain tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. High 74. Currently 52. Next news at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. John Harwood, good representative of the D.C. Press Corps. He's CNBC, right? Covers national politics for CNBC. He tweeted out yesterday in response to President Trump referring to Mara Salvatrucha gangbangers and professional killers as animals. However repugnant their actions, MS-13 gang members are human beings.
Oh.
IMHO. John Harwood, I want you to not forget the humanity of those professional murderers.
These are people, they have mothers and fathers and children.
There's somebody's brother.
Yes.
And son.
Somebody's sister.
312-642-5600 turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636 DA turnkey.pro. Text line. Of course, he's right. The people who are to have their humanity stripped of them are conservatives. And, oh, by the way, Trump is Hitler. Don't forget that. Sarah Sanders was asked the question about the president's comment at briefing yesterday. She said this.
I want to ask you, because so many people in the country have been talking about it in the last 24 hours. What did the president mean when he said that some immigrants are not people, they're animals?
The president was very clearly referring to MS-13 gang members who enter the country illegally and whose deportations are hamstrung by our laws. This is one of the most vicious and deadly gangs that operates by the motto of rape, control, and kill. If the media and liberals want to defend MS-13, they're more than welcome to. Frankly, I don't think the term that the president used was strong enough. MS-13 has done heinous acts. It took an animal to stab a man 100 times and decapitate him and rip his heart out. It took an animal to beat a woman they were sex trafficking with a bat 28 times, indenting part of her body. And it took an animal to kidnap, drug, and rape a 14-year-old Houston girl. Frankly, I think that the term animal doesn't go far enough, and I think that the president should continue to use his platform and everything he can do under the law to stop these types of horrible, horrible, disgusting people. I'm going to take one more question.
Yeah. Well, is Sarah Sanders right or is John Harwood right? Should the President of the United States be using terms like animal to describe human beings who behave like animals? Or worse than animals, frankly. Animals kill for food. MS-13 kills for sport.
Yeah. Or revenge. I mean, the whole thing, it just makes me mad because everybody led. Even, I mean, shame on ABC. CNN, it didn't really surprise me, but MSNBC, everybody led with President Trump calls illegals animals. And then everybody, then we waited a day and then found out that he was calling the gang members animals. But even that, I mean, people are still upset that he's calling them. Isn't a murderer an animal in my mind? It's that there's a correlation between the two.
Well, yeah, you would think this is rather uncontroversial, I would think. But for some reason, if Trump says it, then it's controversial. Well, first of all, it's misreported so that you can generate a controversy. And then when the record is corrected, there's still the reluctance of the D.C. press corps to move on. They still want that controversy, and they want to use it to, of course, push the position that Donald Trump is a racist. So this has really been from the beginning, from the misreporting on his Mexican immigrants are rapists and criminals comment, right? Where it was reported as he said, essentially all Mexicans are that, when he's talking about some of those who come across our border illegally and who go on to commit crimes, as we know all too well. That is a fact that is indisputable, and then for the president to use tough language to talk about one of the most ruthless international criminal organizations, certainly in the Western Hemisphere. This is what John Harwood. This is where they want to draw the line. This is the hill upon which they want to make their stand for humanity. It's so many of these cases say so much more about the D.C. press corps and the likes of Jim Harwood than they say about the president. Jim, on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We've become, a lot of people, especially liberals, have capitulated with everything. I remember when that one guy was beheaded by ISIS and his family was apologizing. The other soldier that was went to the ISIS camp, and his family was learning Arabic so they could assimilate. People who stand up for something nowadays, especially if you're a conservative, they look upon you as mean. They look upon you as that's not right. And, this idea that we can always get along and if we capitulate, everything's okay. It doesn't work in the real world, but this is where we've come to in our society, and it's very sad.
Thanks for the call, Jim. I think you're right about that. I think it does have implications, and it really does underscore the poisonous philosophy of the left. Think about the attitude of the Obama administration to terrorists. Basically, they're just, we need to give them jobs. Remember the jobs for terrorists comment? Look, if we just,
he's like, if we just give some ISIS members some work, then they'll stop being terrorists.
Exactly. We've done this to them.
Contribute to society.
The lack of economic opportunity by the result of American neo-imperialism has left these people displaced and disenfranchised and blah.
That was quite possibly the most bizarre foreign policy comment President Obama ever made.
But it's not. It's really not. It's consistent with how they look at politics domestically. It's the same thing. This idea that we're to blame, a government is to provide something. We all have the same disposition. We all have the same ends. And those who choose violence, it's just because they haven't been provided with particular opportunities the way that others have. And so if we just leveled the provision of goods and services from the government, then we would live in peace and harmony. Everybody thinks the way that peaceful pluralists do. Everybody's a peaceful pluralist at heart. Well, maybe when they were children, but some grow up to be, what's the word? Animals? The MS-13, hey.
Hey, go easy on that group. Come on.
Why the harsh rhetoric?
Too soon. Really. Did you ever see the video that's online? It's so disgusting. It's of those gang members. They got in a fight. Then they left the guy in a field, and vultures came and poked the guy's eyes out and attacked his vital organs. It was the most disgusting thing. And I'm sorry, they aren't animals.
You just heard what Sarah said. She gave 3 real-world examples of MS-13's handiwork: sex trafficking, rape, dismemberment, murder, Inc.
Death by vultures. I know. It's disgusting.
Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Yeah, Trump again is really pretty darn accurate on things because animals lack a conscience. We have a conscience that's supposed to guide us and guide our actions. That these people are demonstrating a lack of conscience, just like an animal, just operating instinctively like predators. And so the term animal is actually quite accurate to describe the actions of those people.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Casper in West Chicago.
Hi, good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
I am a little bit confused. I think you could help me with this. The president says that all the illegal immigrants, members of the MS-13 are animals, or all the members of MS-13, legal or illegal, are animals, or all the members of gangs in all USA are animals. Could you help me with that? Because it's a little bit confused. Is illegal immigration, the members of illegal immigration, animals, or just the members of the MS-13? Could you clarify that, please?
Let me ask you a question, Casper. What would you, how would you describe the members of MS-13, whether they're here in this country legally or illegally? How would you describe them?
I think all the members of gangs. You have a lot of gangs in USA, and all the gangs that do that, even white people living in this country, like the guy in Vegas, you could say that guy was an animal.
Yeah.
And you could say that about everybody who makes that kind of heinous things. And just to say, just the illegals are animals, or just the MS-13 are the gangs of MS-13 are animals. That's very confusing, and he's just using the issue to motivate his base.
Your problem is he hasn't described enough people as animals. He needs to describe more people as animals, and then you'd be happy.
My problem. Okay, wait a minute. My problem is that he is making a relation between illegals and animals.
Well, no,
That's the problem.
no. Actually, as you heard Sarah Sanders say, and as he said, it was specifically in context with MS-13. So do you have a problem with him referring to MS-13 members as animals? How is that motivating his base?
No.
It's not telling us anything we didn't know.
he is motivating his base because he is making the liaison between illegals and animals.
How is
That's
that?
how he's motivating because
That's
he's
not what he
using
said.
the issue of illegal immigration to motivate his base. He don't want to fix any problem.
Yeah, but
and
wait,
you know it.
not you're far afield, Casper. With respect to what the president said and it being directed at MS-13, is there any problem that you have with that?
I have a problem because MS-13 is not the only gang who do that.
Right.
There is a lot of gangs who do that.
Now we're back
So
to the
why
beginning.
did you say
thanks,
MS-13?
thanks for the call, Casper. Right. So a lot of gangs do that. So your problem, again, to restate, even though you said it wasn't your problem, you're saying with your logic it is your problem, is that you just need to apply the term animals to more gang members. Okay.
Right. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't
Sure.
single out MS-13. There's other violent gangs out there that he could denounce.
Oh, that's fine.
That's what our guy Casper is asking.
Spin the wheel. You want to? You got other gangbangers, other professional murderers that you want the president to call animals? I'm tweeted at him. I'm sure he'd be happy to indulge. David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, happy Friday. Poor Casper. He needs to quit watching CNN news. The comment I
sorry.
wanted to make, I think the Democrats are trying to start a new movement. They're going to call it MS-13 Lives Matter.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks for the call, David. Philip on the Northwest side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I have a problem with Trump calling these guys animals because, it's very insulting to animals. I mean, when my dog makes an accident in the basement, she has a conscience. She smiles, wags her tail. She knows she's in trouble.
Yeah.
But this doesn't make any sense. This defensive of all our Democratic criminals is just tearing the Democratic Party apart. I don't know how you guys could attack all these people, especially when they're cutting people's heads off and things like that. It's so harsh.
Yeah.
You guys have a nice day.
Thanks, Philip.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin. It serves young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Well, now that same experience is available for young women. It's not a place for juvenile delinquents. No. Children from all over the country, all over the world attend St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. We went to see them about 2 months ago, and it's very impressive. I mean, Northwestern Military Academy immerses young men in a culture of leadership that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and our military traditions, shaping minds since 1884. Grades 7 through 12, there's boarding or day boarding, and it's going full co-ed. And it's a place that you can trust for your son or now your daughter. And as a mom, I want to know that if I choose a military boarding school, that it would encompass the values that I look for. Limited registration available now for their co-ed summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy is happening right now. There's 4 one-week programs. Peyton and Eli are going together. They're going to be rooming together for a few weeks up there at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, and it looks exciting. For more information and to check out the summer camp program, please go to sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org to find out information about year-round schooling application process. Go also to sjnma.org or just call this number, 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Cadet.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender obsessed with their Rocket because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You can call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you can call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Quality doors and windows are one of the smartest investments you can make. They improve your home's appearance and save you money on energy bills year-round. Say goodbye to high-pressure sales tactics and enjoy the best window and door experience with Nextdoor and Window. Call now and schedule your free quote, 630-590-1370, or go online to nextdoorandwindow.com. Nextdoor and Window has wood-clad, vinyl, and fiberglass windows and doors. Their staff will help you find exactly what you want. Right now, get 10% off windows and doors with no money down and no payments for 1 year. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote. Choose from 3 showrooms in Chicagoland, Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote and for finance qualifications.
Nextdoor and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
Presentation is everything. If you don't have a great way to convey your message to clients, you may have lost half the battle. You need the right system and equipment for your conference and training rooms. Before you get overwhelmed and freak out over the latest technology, consult with Fathom Media. Fathom Media is a systems design specialist that will help bring your conference or boardroom into the 21st century and deliver presentations that cut through. From pre-design all the way through training you how to use and maintain your new system and equipment, Fathom Media is committed to your success, and it's more affordable than you may think. Communicating to clients, employees, and even customers doesn't have to be complicated. From business applications to churches and schools, Fathom Media will deliver your message using the latest and most effective technology for audio, video conferencing, interactive video walls, smartboards, kiosks, digital signage, and more. Choose Fathom Media. For a free design technology consultation, go to fathommedia.com. fathommedia.com.
Every business needs great people, and a better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just 1 day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye Post and Pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearphishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
5:57. Let's get a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy Expressway inbound, it's heavy from 190 to Cumberland. It's 22 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. Up on 5 at 20. No delays to report on the Eden. Got eyes and now heavy starting around Manheim. 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Up on 29. Mount Stevenson delays start at the Des Plaines River Bridge, 46 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Up on 5 at 34. Mount Ryan stop and go from the Stevenson to the Circle, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 23 minutes, 80-94th to merge. Delay on the eastbound Adams Tollway from the Tri-State down to the Kennedy. Traffic Service. Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. With great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Comes from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds, high 72. Tonight, occasional rain and drizzle, low 56. A little rain early in the morning tomorrow, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
53 at O'Hare. The news is a service of LifeLock. In today's connected world, it takes just one weak link, and your personal information can get into the wrong hands. Good thing new LifeLock with Norton now has protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com and use promo code RISK for an extra 10% off your first year. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. The Obama Presidential Center in Chicago is one step closer to reality, passing muster before the city's Plan Commission yesterday. A suspected gang leader charged with shooting a federal agent earlier this month on Chicago's South Side will remain in jail while awaiting trial. The first African-American to serve on the Illinois Supreme Court says he's ready to retire. Justice Charles Freeman yesterday announcing that this term will be his last. Folks in 7 southern Illinois counties are counting on bottled water and porta potties for another day after a major break at the Wren Lake Conservancy District. White Sox pull out a win over the Rangers. Cubs and Braves rained out. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
There's another abortion battle brewing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump is getting ready to bring back restrictions tied to federal funding first proposed decades ago. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the White House will announce a rule today barring federally funded clinics from discussing abortion with women. They will also not be allowed to share space with abortion providers. The policy harkens back to a Reagan-era rule that never went into effect as written, but was upheld by the Supreme Court as an appropriate use of executive power. The 1988 rule required abortion providers to operate separately from other family planning services. The policy is expected to face legal challenges. Dave?
Rachel, drama at the Trump Doral National Golf Club early this morning near Miami.
They found a man shooting inside the lobby and yelling about the president. He had also draped an American flag over the reception desk. Now, he was shot and wounded by police after getting into an altercation with officers. Right now, still unclear what he was actually saying about President Trump.
Fox's Todd Pyro. President Trump still planning to meet with Kim Jong-un next month, but North Korea has threatened to pull out. The president says if Kim meets and agrees to give up nuclear weapons, his country will be rich and he could stay in power. If not, Kim could be in trouble like Libya's old leader.
That model with Gaddafi, that was a total decimation. We went in there to beat him. Now, that model would take place if we don't make a deal. Most likely.
Big news in Britain the day before the royal wedding.
Kensington Palace saying Meghan Markle will be accompanied down the aisle by Prince Charles, the groom's father. This a late switch after it was announced Ms Markle's father Thomas is unable to attend after having heart surgery.
Fox's Simon Owen in Windsor. Also in England, the ex-Russian spy poisoned along with his daughter back in March is now out of a hospital. She was released last month. Russia was blamed for the attack. Moscow denied that, but the U.S. and other allies joined Britain expelling Russian diplomats. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
16 million people suffer from depression in this country. 6 million of them have drug-resistant depression, which means they do not find any relief. Hi, my name is Ben Klein, and I know this very well, as my oldest daughter suffers from depression, and she did not find any relief from the drugs. We found TMS therapy, and we got her the treatment, and it completely changed her life. If you're one of those 6 million people who suffer from drug-resistant depression, contact us. It can change your life too.
HBR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life. And it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. In a natural way, you can make real progress in the battle with depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It's Viral Video Friday.
What is it?
Let's spin the wheel and land on one New York attorney named Aaron Schlossberg, who was captured engaging employees and customers at a Fresh Kitchen in Manhattan earlier this week for speaking Spanish. Here's what Mr. Schlossberg had to say to those with whom he interacted.
Clients at your staff is speaking Spanish to customers when they should be speaking very violent. I mean, sometimes they do. Every person I listen to, he's spoken, she's speaking it, is America. You're
He's very ignorant. He's very ignorant. And he shouldn't be allowed.
Because I will be following up. And my guess is they're not documented. So my next call is to ICE to have each one of them kicked out of my country. If they have the balls to come here and live off of my money, I pay for their welfare. I pay for their ability to be here. The least they can do is
Their welfare?
Yes,
Such an ignorant.
If you are running a place in Midtown Manhattan, your staff should be speaking English, not Spanish.
Because of people like you, our nation
Honey, I'm calling ICE.
Call ICE. So that they can see.
Maybe you shouldn't eat that sandwich today. Take a break from the food.
Maybe you should get hit by a car.
Fat shame.
Yeah, no, that's a bridge too far.
You don't fat shame.
So-
Only we can fat shame.
Among other things, he said, your clients, your staff are speaking Spanish to staff when they should be speaking English. My guess is they're not documented, so my next call is to ICE to have each one of them taken out of the country. If they have the balls to come here and live off my money, I pay for their welfare. I pay for their ability to be here. The least they can do is speak English.
312-642-5600. Does this man have a point?
Does he have a job? His the law firm for which he works, has been inundated with Yelp reviews. I can tell you they're not positive.
Well, exactly. It didn't take the people on watching this to figure out who he was, where he worked, and apparently he went to work and he was locked out.
Yeah.
Sorry, your pass has been denied.
Also, you've got two lawmakers Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. and Democrat State Rep Adriano Espaillat, who have filed a formal complaint against Schlossberg.
For what?
To a New York Attorney Grievance Committee. They want his law license to be revoked until he, quote, amends his actions. What about the issue of professional repercussions for an interaction like that? And is this a place for the state to intervene? Should this, even if you don't appreciate what he said and the way he chose to engage those employees and or customers, and I don't think it was particularly redeemable what he had to say, but should he suffer professional consequences? Should he have the state intervene to perhaps deprive him of his law license, at least for a period of time? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Or do you have the right in this country to
I thought we had a right to free speech.
Well, but even more than that, do you have a right to be ignorant? Do you have a right to say things that are offensive? Do you have a right to say things that are roundly perceived to be intemperate or not?
I mean, he incorrectly asserted that undocumented immigrants are eligible for federal public benefits and accused them of being on them.
Actually, that's not incorrect in practice.
Okay.
We know that, for example, the Medicaid program in Illinois, which is a federal state program, we know there are people in this country illegally who access Medicaid benefits. So that's not true. But also what he said is not true. I mean, he's talking to employees of an establishment, and he's saying, I pay for your welfare. Well, that's certainly those are facts, not in evidence. And to kind of go there because you don't like the fact that they're interacting in Spanish rather than English seems to me more than a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Jeff in Marengo, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. This Schlossberg guy, I don't have a problem with employees speaking a foreign language to each other, so long as when they're servicing the customer, they're using English or something like that so they can communicate.
Yeah.
I was just at a pharmacy the other day picking up a prescription, and there was another woman there who did not speak any English, and she was trying to communicate with the pharmacist, and the pharmacist couldn't help her much because she couldn't understand. I felt like taking out my cell phone and using Google Translate to try and help her.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, right. And it's just good business practice. I don't think this needs to be like some sort of a grand cultural debate or certainly anything involving lawmakers or politicians, right? If you can't communicate with your customers, that's going to turn out to be a problem.
Yeah, but this isn't his first time. Now that video has gone viral, there's other videos of him from a few years ago. Once, this guy, Willie Morris, he's 34 years old. He was walking down the street, accidentally bumped into this attorney, Schlossberg, and Schlossberg didn't like him. He turned around and called him an ugly, blanking foreigner.
So
and he said, I'm from Massachusetts.
Well, that is foreign to New York.
He said, I mean, and then he
I
has it on
pay
tape
for your
too.
welfare in Massachusetts.
But I'm not on welfare. I don't care. You look Muslim.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just crazy. So this guy's a loose cannon.
got a little-
maybe he's just trying to maybe he's trying to be a social media sensation.
Yeah, sure. He's,
Stop speaking Spanish.
He's trying to occupy that space John Rocker used to have with respect to New York, right?
I'm from Massachusetts.
That's just, yeah, and you have the balls of speaking to me in that Eastern Seaboard accent?
That guy's, by the way, sounds a little light in the loafers, huh? The attorney?
Yeah.
I make me speak English.
Okay. Jim in Tampa.
Hey, Dan, great question about do you have the right to be ignorant or intemperate? You 100% do, because we see people do it all the time. People are ignorant and intemperate all the time, but they don't have the state coming down on them. And to me, the market just takes care of a person like this and washes him away.
Yeah.
The state can just watch it happen.
Yeah, I think that is what's happening. I think that's right, Jim. Good point. Thanks for the call. The other thing, too, is when you start drawing those lines and saying the state should enforce them, which is what these two politicians in New York are doing, saying his license should be revoked until he goes to sensitivity training or some other fashion, amends his actions. Well, then you have the state drawing those lines. You have politicians saying what is acceptable speech and what is not. and the standard being if I'm offended, and obviously that is the height of subjectivity, and thus danger of government censorship of speech, enforcement of opinion, right? That's
Right.
that. The danger is not the danger is not the intemperate. The danger is the government enforcing a unanimity of opinion or an orthodoxy of opinion, which achieves only the unanimity of the graveyard, as Justice Robert Jackson famously said.
They let him back in his law office.
Have they let him back in?
Have they let him back in? Yeah, it looks here.
I think his picture is posted at the Fresh Kitchen, though, in Manhattan. I don't think he'll be
Oh.
dining there anytime soon. It probably would not be in his interest to do so. Yeah.
Were you offended by what he said?
Yeah, it's just idiotic. And he's like picking a fight for no reason.
He's trying to be a social media star or something. I don't know what he's trying to do, unless he really believes this.
Well, yeah, maybe he just, doesn't like people who speak Spanish or who emigrate to this country from Massachusetts.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, how will Prince Harry and Meghan Markle honor Princess Diana? And have you heard the breaking news? But first, here's your forecast. Pleasant with some sun giving way to clouds, a high of 72 degrees. Tonight, some occasional rain and drizzle, a low 56. And your weekend looks like this. Saturday, you're going to wake up to a little rain. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy, a high of 74. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a shower or thunderstorm in spots. Cooler than we're used to, a high in the mid-60s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. West side of Chicago got a fire reported on Cicero and Ohio. Eastbound Eden Spur, traffic stop and go off Keegan Road to the Edens. And then it's 20 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. On Eisenhower, delays start at Wolf Road. It's 42 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound still fine. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishopford, 20 minutes, 8094 to the Merge. Reagan Tollway now heavy from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You know I love MyPillow, but here's the answer for the rest of your body. It's the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy and cozy with 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night. I have mine in my room. I love it. It's not too hot or cold. And for May, you get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper plus 2 free standard MyPillows with your mattress topper purchase. You heard that right. 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off a mattress topper. You get the same 10-year warranty on your mattress topper and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online or call now and grab this great deal and others, including 30% off that pet bed, which you're going to want because you can wash it and dry it at home. Their sheets are fantastic. I love my sheets and more. And yes, you can still get your 4-pack deal in May. So call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit mypillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, continuing viral video Friday. We'll get to Tim Hortons in just a second, but first, we might have to bring Aaron Schlossberg back into this conversation as well. Jeff in Rolling Meadows, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hey, Dan. I have a different take. I worked at a restaurant, and you couldn't use profanity. You know, the managers would write you up.
Right.
Yet all the Hispanics would use it like saying good morning, and they would say it, but the managers wouldn't understand it, you know, because they wouldn't take the time to learn the language. But you could hear the words on the radio, and they would beep certain words out that I know they say all the time.
Okay.
You know, because someone would bring the CD in, so I would hear what the word was, and then when you were listening to the radio, some stations, like I think it was WOJO, which is a Spanish station, or would beep a certain word out. Yet on the CD it would be in there, and they say these words like they say good morning to you.
Well, so
and,
is this like a tree falls in the forest type of question? If it's is it profanity if you don't know it's profanity? I mean, but so you're just saying what exactly that?
Well, if I assume people were starting to call the radio stations and saying, you know, Hispanic, probably mothers are saying, look, you're saying these words, and my kids are saying them all the time now.
Okay.
And they didn't want it, so I don't, you know, saying I can't say it on the radio, I guess, but I assume
using profane words in Spanish is unacceptable as well, and I'm sure employers would be notified of that if their, you know, a Spanish speaker was in a fresh kitchen and was being treated to profanity.
But I would bring it up to the manager, and they would go, okay, we'll ask the wife of the guy who said it, because the wife was working there too. So it's like, well, no, that's not a profanity. Yet I just heard it, you know, the other day on the radio, they beeped that word out of the song on the radio.
Okay.
So how could it not be profanity?
Okay.
So you can't ask, because they won't, you know, they're not going to say against each other, and I'm the only American working in the kitchen at the time. So what can you do?
Okay.
And waitress.
Sorry to mean to cut you off. Thanks for the call, Jeff. I want to get to, since we were talking about restaurants, here's a viral video, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Hortons, big popular chain in Canada,
Right.
north of the border there. I don't think Aaron Schlossberg is going to want this Canadian woman to immigrate to this country any more than he wanted that guy from Massachusetts to come to New York. A woman whose name has not been released was arrested by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in British Columbia for defecating on the floor of the restaurant and then throwing her waste at Tim Hortons employees.
Is she a former superintendent of a school?
What
No,
precipitated?
that was a man.
What precipitated this, you ask?
Yeah, why? Was the bathroom line long?
She was declined access to the woman's restroom based on her, quote, past behavior, unquote. And out of a concern for the immediate safety of those in the restroom, according to Tim Hortons employees, Tim Hortons has a restricted access policy for restrooms to ensure the well-being of our guests. They say, WWSD, what would Starbucks do? What would Are you? I mean, I don't know. Is the new Starbucks policy? Are you allowed to do this, or is this a bridge too far for Starbucks as well? I mean, it's kind of the everything goes, right? But bathroom policy,
right.
Why limited to a particular space? Literally, they have the video of her doing this, arguing.
Okay,
she pulls her pants down
and drops a deuce right there.
And then
drops a steamer, and then did she kick, and then circle around and smell?
Yeah.
Does somebody come out with a
And then-
doggy bag that's blue and scoop it up?
And then she ran out the door and into the field. Do you have any other euphemisms for that you'd like to?
Did she wipe? Oh,
She
no!
took
Stop it.
She took a handful of napkins. So
Just
on the one hand, you got the Fresh Kitchen employees being berated by this guy Schlossberg, and on the other hand, you have Tim Hortons employees being treated to that. So, these new service sector jobs that everybody's raving about, I don't know. I don't know that keep my radio gig.
I know. You know what's so gross? I'm gonna have to watch it.
Oh, you have to.
Where is it? Or just go poop? Google poop.
Tim Hortons. I don't think that's what Tim Hortons would wish to be in their Google search for search engine optimization. But
Well, wait. Was she
that's what it's
arrested
going to
after
be.
this?
She was arrested. Yeah, that is still illegal in
She
Canada.
She furiously planks on the floor. Okay.
Yeah.
And then oh, my God. I mean, my goodness.
Was I lying? Did you think I was making it up? No.
I hope they cleaned up the store, kicked everybody out, and disinfected.
Yeah, they bring a hazmat team in. I'm gonna get that double cheeseburger to go. I think.
They call it bowels of a mystery.
Yes. I haven't seen something as grotesque as that at a fast food restaurant since falling down. So here's the thing. We're going to continue our viral Friday, unless you have anything to add on this woman.
You're
good.
Well,
Yeah.
She is near the food source where they bring out the burgers.
I think that.
You know what's
It
so
was not a
disturbing?
Baby
There's a
Ruth either.
dude behind her sitting at a table who has his shirt off. What are they doing over there in Canada?
It's a relaxed atmosphere.
He has no shirt on, and he's letting it all. Or wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a beige color shirt. That's why.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you could probably distinguish.
Oh. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh
all
wait.
right. You
She
got
did wipe.
the money shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I believe.
Oh.
I believe that Tim Hortons is scheduled for demolition. Okay, can we go back to this
I really
country and to
apologize
the Eastern
if people
Seaboard?
are eating right now. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And so are you.
Hey, this is the world in which you live. You got to know about it. Remember this New York legislator who was pulled over, county board member pulled over by a cop? Remember? Remember her?
Sorry, I'm having a panic attack. I have PTSD.
She was
Still, honestly, nothing.
pulled over for speeding.
Yeah, and then he was nice and he said, "I'll just reduce and say a seatbelt violation." PTSD. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And he said, "Ma'am," and he was trying to work with her, but she was so frazzled, like her hair was on fire, that she couldn't comprehend anything he was saying.
There's something about this ruling class mentality that filters down to the local level. You've got that goofy county board member in New York. Let me introduce you to South Orange Maplewood School Board member Stephanie Lawson Muhammad, who was also pulled over for speeding. And this is how that went.
Hi, ma'am.
Can I just let her out to walk to school? My name's Stephanie Lawson Muhammad. I'm on the school board. I'm a community member of this town. I'm sorry if I was speeding.
Yes, you were speeding. That's why I'm stopping you.
I didn't realize that I was speeding.
You're doing 37 and a 25.
I'm very sorry.
Okay, do you have your driver's registration or insurance, ma'am?
I have it all, but
Okay.
I really, can she get out and walk to
Sure,
school?
that's no problem.
Now, I'm so sorry.
Here it starts. Here we go.
Hey, look, and then my other daughter has to get to school, and she's going to be late.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just try to get you out of here as quickly as I can, okay?
I'm scared of cops because you guys hurt black people. Please, just get out of the car and go away. I love you.
Hey, do you want me to call you an ambulance?
No, I don't want you to call me an ambulance.
You go. Remember me
Okay,
at
I'm just
school.
wondering. You look like you might be having a panic attack or some anxiety. Okay, no problem.
I want you to call
Do you have your driver's license, your registration, or insurance, ma'am?
That was an insult.
Okay.
Now she
There it
changed on a
is.
dime.
Yeah.
Turn from victim to I'm going to get you somehow.
Just go. Dad is on a plane. Don't call Dad. I'm
Don't
sorry
call
you have
Dad.
to walk.
Teaching
Can you call Justice and tell her that she's going to be late to park? Can you call the middle school and let them know that my daughter
No, I cannot.
late for park?
Oh.
You're a public servant. Call the middle school.
I'm not seeing my driver's license.
I'm not seeing.
I have a driver's license. Can you look up my driver's license? Because I'm not seeing it.
So you're telling me that you don't have your driver's license?
I'm telling you that I don't.
Okay,
see
do you have your
my
insurance
driver's
card, ma'am?
license. Are you Maplewood cop?
No, ma'am. South Orange.
South Orange, great. I'm
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
call Sheena right now.
Call Sheena. Sheena's the village
Ma'am,
president.
this is expired. Do you have the new one?
So she's trying to
I
Bigfoot
don't
him.
see the new one.
Okay.
I'm freaked out right now.
Okay, just sit tight for me, okay?
I'm freaked out. I've never conceived of being pulled over for speeding before, and I'm an adult.
You always have to have your driver's license. Always. Is she crying again?
And I just called her. She told me I'm lying.
Ma'am, you can put.
To my husband.
Okay, you can just put that back in the car, ma'am.
Get out of the car.
I saw when you were hanging out the window. You didn't need to keep your arm out the window the entire time.
You to know that I had
Okay.
my driver's license.
again.
Okay. Are you sure you're okay to drive, ma'am?
I'm so happy I found my driver's license.
Home and she has parked today, and
Okay.
I need to get her to school.
Okay, well, I'll get this done as quick as possible, okay, ma'am? Here's your driver's license and the expired registration card. Excuse me, the registration and the insurance card, okay? Ma'am, I wrote you a summons for the speed. I also issued one for failing to have a valid insurance card in your possession, okay? What you're going to do with that summons is a mandatory court appearance, because what they're going to need to do is make sure that you had insurance on the date and time that you were stopped. Okay, the only thing they're going to do is just check.
Not in my head, I can send you your insurance card.
He will send the insurance.
The ticket's already written, ma'am. So what you can do is...
He'll text it to you. And
Okay.
my husband is telling you right now, because for me to have to go to court,
Oh.
for me to have to go to court, now you want me to go to court? I don't want to go to court. I have insurance. He can text you a picture of it right now.
Okay, ma'am, the
This is
ticket's
why
already written. I
women-
can't void a
she gives
summons
women
once
a
it's
bad
already
rap.
written. That's fine. You're more than welcome to do that, ma'am.
Skinhead cop.
Hear that?
Skinhead cop?
I'm going to call Sheena in your
Ma'am,
skinhead
if you
cop
have any other
chief.
questions, reference the court date, maybe you can't make it, just call this number up top, speak to our court administrator. They'll work with you as far as scheduling another date for you, okay, ma'am? Do you have any questions for me?
I don't have any questions
All right, ma'am.
for you.
Drive safe.
You too.
Oh, see, she's psychotic because she went from victim and crying to I'm going to get you and your skinhead cop
back to-
boss,
to back to crying, to then
back to being aggressive.
Skinhead cops, right? And she's too important to go to court. You
I
wanted to go to court?
Well, no one has time to go to court, but if we mess up, we go to court.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather deal with a woman who took a dump on the Tim Hortons floor or as a cashier there, or a cop who has to deal with the likes of Miss Muhammad on a daily basis?
Well, it's another edition of Why Dan Proft is Single.
There's no question about that.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll update a spy in the house of Trump at 6:36.
Spy, or is it a source? And later, cold feet. Not for Meghan Markle, but for Kim Jong-un. We'll explain. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
52. Cloudy skies. One man in custody after a shootout in the lobby of President Trump's golf resort in suburban Miami this morning. It happened around 1:30 at the Trump Doral Miami Resort. Man was making what they called anti-Trump statements as he fired shots into the lobby of the golf course. Gina Haspel is the new director of the CIA. She becomes the first woman to head that spy agency. Officials on Hawaii's Big Island warning there could be more powerful explosions from the Kilauea volcano. The eruption sent an ash cloud 30,000 feet into the air yesterday. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says 2 are dead, 43 hurt. Following a horrific bus crash, Theo Asevsky of the Eastbrook Middle School was on the bus when it collided with a dump truck on its way to a field trip.
We toppled over the highway, and so then a few people got out of the windows and they got out of the emergency exit on the top, on the roof.
It happened Thursday morning along I-80 in near Mount Olive, New Jersey, where a bus taking students on a field trip collided with a dump truck. Missouri Governor Eric Greitens striking a defiant tone ahead of today's special legislative session in Jefferson City, Missouri, to consider his impeachment. Today, lawmakers will decide if Greitens will remain in office amid an ongoing scandal there. A student who was shot by a school resource officer after firing his gun at Dixon High School is due in court today. Matthew Milby is charged with 3 counts of felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. A suspected gang leader is charged with shooting an ATF agent earlier this month on Chicago's South Side, will remain in jail. And the first African-American to serve on the Illinois Supreme Court says he's ready to retire. Justice Charles Freeman announcing this term will be his last. White Sox over the Rangers 4-2 in comeback fashion. Cubs and Braves rained out. The news a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket is so simple you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. 634, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
636. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. And Mundaline 176 is blocked right now in Hawley and Gilmer due to a crash. Eden Spur eastbound, it's slow from Waukegan Road to the Edens. And then we see delays on the Edens Devon to the junction. 22 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 19. Kennedy, 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 14 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound, 24 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower's now 47 minutes, 390 to downtown, 32 from Manheim. Outbound, 33 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 38. Mount Orion at 79th, going to crash in the 3 right lanes. Actually, it's right at 81st Street. Then it's heavy 35th the rest of the way in. 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic is a service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Care Centers or Napa Auto Parts stores, you'll get a $50 Visa prepaid card by mail when you spend $250 on Napa brakes. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 5/31/18. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Pleasant. Sunshine gives way to clouds throughout the day. Watch for some light drizzle, maybe some rain showers later in the afternoon, early evening. High 72. Much cooler along the lakefront with the northeast wind. Occasional rain and drizzle, 56 overnight. Currently, we have 53. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan, Dan and Amy, we need a little jumpin' jack flash because it's time to talk Crossfire Hurricane. This
is that a new drink?
It's the FBI code name for its Trump-Russia investigation.
Oh, Crossfire Hurricane?
Crossfire Hurricane, New York Times reporting on Wednesday, some 4,000-word piece about the FBI having at least one government informant against the Trump campaign. The Times learned this, they report, because current and former officials leaked to reporters the same classified information about which, just days ago, the Justice Department shrieked extortion. Well, that was Rod Rosenstein specifically when Congress asked about it. It's fascinating. And Andy McCarthy makes the point that's not even the most important revelation in the New York Times story about Crossfire Hurricane and spying on the Trump campaign.
What could be worse than that?
The Obama administration used its counterintelligence powers to investigate an opposition party's presidential campaign. There was no criminal predicate, writes Andy McCarthy in National Review, to justify an investigation of any Trump campaign official, so the FBI did not open a criminal investigation. Instead, the Bureau opened a counter-intel investigation and hoped the evidence of crimes committed by Trump officials would emerge. And that is, to say it lightly, this is an abuse of the power to use counterintelligence, including spying, electronic surveillance, to conduct what is actually a criminal investigation. This is big stuff, serious stuff, and it's being underreported because I know we have to focus on Angela Merkel getting married to that prince.
Meghan Markle.
Oh.
And Prince Charles, we've learned this morning, is going to be walking her down the aisle. But Rudy Giuliani, one of President Trump's attorney, said there might not be just one spy. There could possibly be two.
I'm shocked to hear that they put a spy in the campaign of a major party candidate, or maybe two spies. And now I'm going through my brain, since you know I was a big part of that campaign. I'm trying to figure out who was the spy. Right. Now I'm wondering, is this person or that person or this person? Yeah. Now, if there's a spy, they got nothing from it.
Yeah, that's not the important point, though, with all due respect to Rudy. The important point is what Andy McCarthy highlights, that you had the Obama administration using the power of the state to spy on an opposition presidential campaign in the hopes of discovering something criminal. Full stop. I mean, take that in and what the implications of that are. If the Trump Department of Justice FBI, CIA were to use its power now to open a counter intel investigation into whoever they think is going to be the likely Democrat nominee in 2020 in the hopes of catching them or their associates, their staff engaged in some kind of criminal action, how would this be received by the left? How would this be reported by the D.C. press corps?
Wall to wall. They'd even forget that there's a royal wedding coming up in less than 24 hours.
So when Trump tweets that if this is all true, this is bigger than Watergate, is he right? This is bigger than Watergate. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Molly Hemingway was on with Tucker Carlson talking about this generally and about John Brennan, one of these
he's so angry.
Ubiquitous former Obama flacks in the intel community, CIA director.
Who won't go away.
Who's lied to the American public, just as former DNI James Clapper has lied to the American public, but that doesn't mean they don't get their platforms on the cable news channels to continue to prosecute the case against Trump, however it is. Hemingway saying this.
Retired National Security Agency Director Michael Rogers and former Director of National Intelligence Jim Clapper both admit now that the Steele dossier and its Clinton campaign-funded allegations did, in fact, influence the intel community assessment. We knew that, but it's nice to hear it confirmed. Molly Hemingway is senior editor at The Federalist, and she joins us tonight. Molly, I know you've been following this carefully, a lot of these stories seem to lead back to this guy, John Brennan. And you would think, as the former head of the CIA, he's someone you'd be able to trust, but he seems not only a liar, but an inept one. Am I misreading this?
We have a problem with multiple heads of intelligence agencies, and that does include Brennan, who has a history of lying specifically about spying on American citizens. So it's difficult to hold him, take him seriously. But we've also had problems with falsehoods being said also by James Clapper, who gave inconsistent testimony about his leaking to the media. And we have also had problems with James Comey himself, whether he understands what a leak is and how he has been involved in it. But one of the things that's interesting is Clapper and Comey have been so much a part of this story, and we've seen their names a great deal. But Brennan has been able to kind of stay out of the limelight until recently, where people are starting to piece together just how integral he was to the entire Russia narrative.
And Kim Strassel at Wall Street Journal makes the additional point that all of these guys are willing to provide details to friendly media, but not Congress. Willing to risk their very sources they claim to need to protect with respect to the media, but not with respect to the House Intelligence Committee, the parties that have oversight, responsibility, and power. In addition, you heard Tucker leading in about the dossier. Remember, it was the New York Times saying the Papadopoulos conversation with that Australian diplomat, that inspired the FBI to launch the counter-intel operation in July of 2016. That was a convenient cover story because it diminished the role of the Steele dossier.
Which was funded by the Democratic Party.
Right, yeah, right. Now, the New York Times is telling us the FBI didn't debrief the Australian diplomat until August of 16. Nunez says no official intelligence from allies was delivered to the FBI about that conversation prior to July 31st. So how did the FBI get the Australian officials' details? And what really did inspire the counterintelligence investigation? The dossier? Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
This story always gets more confusing, and no matter how hard you pay attention, it's still confusing. But my opinion on this issue with the FBI being involved in the investigation that they're doing and the lack of subsequent coverage of it by what we call the MSN media, I think this is a bad example, or a good example, rather, of Trump animus and how much that they hate Trump, that they're going to actually overlook terrible cracks in the foundations of our institutions like the FBI.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tom. I think that's right. And there was a good question that was asked at the Larry Elder event we had last night, which was great.
Oh, sorry.
No, Larry Elder was
How
great.
Was it?
And
you don't smell like cigars. I'm sure you had a few, right?
Yeah. Good turnout. It was fun to see everybody. A lot of good questions. This gentleman, Chuck from Kenosha, asked a really good question. At this point, with respect to this investigation, do you think that the media, as well as establishment types at the senior level in these law enforcement and intel agencies, do you think it's still about getting Trump, or is it now more about protecting Obama? I think it's a really good question because I think you're starting to see it, particularly with the story about Operation Crossfire Hurricane, you're starting to see it turn back to exactly what was being done against the Trump campaign by the state in the 2016 campaign, using the awesome power of the federal government and law enforcement and intel agencies to try to undermine a political campaign. That is bigger than Watergate, if this all checks out. The president is right. And this goes well beyond media animus for Trump. They're running interference for it. But and thankfully, in the digital age, you've got Woodward and Bernstein's all over the place.
Right.
And
resident journalists.
This is not going to go away, and it shouldn't. This is massive.
Well, the FBI director is worried about leaks because he said that could bring down his agency.
The day that we can't protect human sources is the day the American people start becoming less safe.
So I think they're spinning this like a source rather than a spy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I took away when I heard that. I thought, oh, so they're thinking he's a source and not a spy. How would you like to respond to the FBI director, Dan?
Yeah, that's at least one government informant, quote unquote, was run by the FBI against the Trump campaign. One government informant. That's the New York Times reporting.
And did they have to get approval from President Obama to do that?
We don't know, but let me just say this about Christopher Wray and this. The day we have to reveal our informants is the day America has become less safe. The day the FBI can conspire with the executive branch, other members of the executive branch, perhaps including the president, to use their law enforcement power to advance political ends is the day we're less free. Director Wray. And that should be the preeminent concern about this story. Brian in Westchester, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, listen, we can't unring this bell. This has been done. But what we should insist upon is that we take a look at Hillary and Bill and Obama, and we should be taking a peek just like they took a peek at Trump. We should be seeing everything that they might have done.
Thanks.
That's what we should be.
Well, thanks for the call, Brian. Mike on the north side.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. The FBI's been political for over 20 years. They protected the Daley Friends family and felons plan. They never went after any of their family members. Before that, certain labor unions they went after. Certain people they tried to dirty up, like a labor's union official from Chicago, but they protected a guy, Arthur Koya, that was connected to the East Coast mob.
Yeah. This is something qualitatively different than that. I agree, the politicization, and those are, perhaps some good examples of that. This is a whole nother order of magnitude. Thanks, Mike.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Bob Agnew in for Lou Dobbs. Zuckerberg heads to the EU next Tuesday. Kroger ups its stake in UK's Ocado to fend off online rivals. Those stories and more next.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will meet with the leaders of the European Parliament at a closed-door meeting next Tuesday about his company's data protection. It was left unclear exactly when Zuckerberg would visit the EU legislature. Kroger is upping its investment in the British online grocer Ocado as it fends off Amazon.com and other online threats to traditional grocers. The threat to traditional grocers became crystal clear after Amazon's $16 billion acquisition of Whole Foods. The NCAA is temporarily lifting a ban that prevented states with legalized sports gambling from hosting NCAA championship events. The move comes days after the Supreme Court overturned a federal law that barred most states from allowing gambling on professional and college sports. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Grow My Retirement.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, how are you today? I've heard you say in the past where a 401k can be both a blessing and a curse. What do you mean by that?
You sign up for a 401k plan, the money comes out before taxes, you get employer matches, and you kind of forget about it. One day you look up, and there's a whole bunch of money there. That's the blessing part. The curse part, you're either at risk or you're not making anything whatsoever. You can roll the contents of your 401k plan into an IRA. In the IRA, you have so much more choice. Mike, I know you're going to talk about this in just a moment, but for the first 5 callers who call in with at least $500,000 in their portfolio, we're going to sit down with them personally on a complimentary basis and help them put together a full-blown plan for their retirement.
Bill, this is an incredible opportunity. Folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, than having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They have a special offer for you today. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 callers who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
Presentation is everything. If you don't have a great way to convey your message to clients, you may have lost half the battle. You need the right system and equipment for your conference and training rooms. Before you get overwhelmed and freak out over the latest technology, consult with Fathom Media. Fathom Media is a systems design specialist that will help bring your conference or boardroom into the 21st century and deliver presentations that cut through. From pre-design all the way through training you how to use and maintain your new system and equipment, Fathom Media is committed to your success, and it's more affordable than you may think. Communicating to clients, employees, and even customers doesn't have to be complicated. From business applications to churches and schools, Fathom Media will deliver your message using the latest and most effective technology for audio, video conferencing, interactive video walls, smartboards, kiosks, digital signage, and more. Choose Fathom Media. For a free design technology consultation, go to fathommedia.com. fathommedia.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 34-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Every month I hear from clients who have joined us over the years from our radio campaign right here on AM 560. From Indiana, I got a note saying, Tom, you're right. Working with you is like watching Andy Griffith in high definition. Great technology and old-fashioned customer service. Or right here in Northern Illinois. Tom, had I known it would have been this easy to switch over, I would have done it years ago. Or this one I just received yesterday. Tom, honey, dinner was great, thanks. Love you, Mom and Dad. Okay, sorry, wrong letter. Bottom line, give us a try. You can't go wrong. Real people, real service, real value. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. precisionpayroll.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to
blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking. And he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. 2 different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He's too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He was shouting something about President Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Possible active shooter at the Trump National Hotel in Doral.
Police scanner audio from Broadcastify early this morning near Miami at the golf club the president owns. Fox's Tanya J. Powers details what happened live.
Dave, the man draped a flag over the counter in the lobby of the Trump National Doral Golf Club near Miami about 1:30 this morning. Miami-Dade Police Director Juan Perez says he was shouting about President Trump and firing his gun.
We're not saying that this is terrorism. We're not saying any of that, but we're not discounting anything at this point.
Officers from Doral and Miami-Dade confronted the man, exchanged gunfire with him, and he was taken into custody. A Doral officer was hurt, but he was not shot, Dave.
Tanya, President Trump's trying to reassure Kim Jong-un about their upcoming meeting after North Korean threats to pull out. The president says if Kim agrees to give up nuclear weapons, it won't be like Libya.
He'd be running his country. His country would be very rich. His people are tremendously industrious.
Democrats are angry. The president on Wednesday called some illegal immigrants animals. Here's House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Does he not believe in the spark of divinity, the dignity and worth of every person?
But the president says he was talking about specific people.
When the MS-13 comes in, when the other gang members come into our country, I refer to them as animals. And guess what? I always will.
The Trump administration plans to bring back a Reagan-era rule banning family clinics that get federal funding from discussing abortion with women or sharing space with abortion providers. A legal challenge is expected. The day before the royal wedding, Meghan Markle finally has someone to walk her down the aisle to marry Prince Harry, her father-in-law-to-be, Prince Charles.
Markle's father, Thomas, is unable to attend after having heart surgery. There's also been a controversy about the alleged staging of paparazzi photographs. The royals saying Prince Charles is pleased to be able to welcome Ms. Markle to the royal family in this way.
Fox's Simon Owen at Windsor, England. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 52 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 are wounded this morning following a shootout at a gas station in South Holland. Police say the victims were shot early this morning at a gas depot near Sibley and State. Their conditions have not been released. The car at the scene had been riddled with bullet holes. A student who was shot by a school resource police officer after firing a gun at Dixon High School during graduation practice is due in court today. Matthew Milby is charged with 3 counts of felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. Now, the 19-year-old was released from the hospital yesterday and transferred to jail. The Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, one step closer to reality. Alderman Danny Solis expressed his backing of the project yesterday before the city's Plan Commission.
I am wholeheartedly supporting this. And I want to tell the rest of the people in Chicago, wake up. This is a dream come true.
7 hours of testimony from critics and supporters yesterday before the Plan Commission approved that center. Governor Rauner's plan to build a new nursing home for veterans in Quincy will have to get in line with other state budget priorities. AM 560's David Stewart has more.
Governor Rauner wants lawmakers to vote on a separate bill to provide $230 million for a new vet center to replace the one where Legionnaire's disease has caused 13 deaths. Democrats, including Senate President John Cullerton, say the plan should be part of the overall capital budget.
Quincy is obviously very important, but we also need to be able to pass a budget so that the people that work in Quincy can actually get paid to go to work.
Keeping the politically sensitive Quincy issue linked to the budget could be a way to attract reluctant Republican votes to a Democrat-dominated plan. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports, White Sox erase a 2-0 deficit with a 4-run 8th inning, and they pull out a 4-2 win over the Rangers. At the rate, Cubs and Braves were wiped out because of rain. The news, a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only. N623. Exclusions apply at Staples. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity says we will not see the end of the attacks on Trump.
It just is so corrupt. It is such a double standard, and it is so obnoxious on so many different levels, but it's never going to go away because the mission, when you really look at it, has been to never let Trump get elected, and then from the day he was elected to undermine Donald Trump.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app and download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Rabito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
7:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Ryan, a crash at 79th just cleared, but damage is done. It's 35 minutes, 90-50 downtown. I-57, 42 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 55 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Edens is 23 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. Eisenhower now 59 minutes, 390 to the Circle, 43 from Manheim, outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40, northbound Tri-State. Delays are from Archer to 47th and Roosevelt to the Grand Avenue curve where a crash blocks 2 left lanes. Traffic Service of Account Temps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Account Temps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. And fast. Call today. Account Temps, a Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Increasing clouds today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 72. Tonight, occasional rain and drizzle, low 56, and a little rain left over for the early parts of the morning tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies, high 74 and low 51. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 52 and sunshine. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chambers630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. If you thought John Harwood was stretching to defend MS-13 amid Trump's characterization of the members of that syndicate, murderous syndicate, Animals, when Harwood, CNBC reporter, said, however repugnant their actions, they're still human beings, essentially. If you thought that was an odd place to draw a line, you haven't heard anything yet. Let me introduce you to the full statement that noted theologian, House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi, offered on the topic.
But since you brought up the subject of immigration again, it reminds me that, and as I was talking about the religious groups and how they're concerned about feeding the hungry and the Gospel of Matthew and the rest, 41 million people in our country are food insecure. We believe, some of us who are attracted to the political arena, to government and public service, that we're all God's children. There's a spark of divinity in every person on earth, and that we all have to recognize that as we respect the dignity and worth of every person, and as we recognize our responsibilities with that spark of divinity within us. And so when the President of the United States says about undocumented immigrants, these aren't people, these are animals, you have to wonder, does he not believe in the spark of divinity, the dignity and worth of every person? These are not people, these are animals. The President of the United States.
Oh, my goodness.
Sarah Sanders responded about these people that Nancy Pelosi was defending.
I want to ask you, because so many people in the country have been talking about it in the last 24 hours. What did the president mean when he said that some immigrants are not people, they're animals?
The president was very clearly referring to MS-13 gang members who enter the country illegally and whose deportations are hamstrung by our laws. This is one of the most vicious and deadly gangs that operates by the motto of rape, control, and kill. If the media and liberals want to defend MS-13, they're more than welcome to. Frankly, I don't think the term that the president used was strong enough. MS-13 has done heinous acts. It took an animal to stab a man 100 times and decapitate him and rip his heart out. It took an animal to beat a woman they were sex trafficking with a bat 28 times, indenting part of her body. And it took an animal to kidnap, drug, and rape a 14-year-old Houston girl. Frankly, I think that the term animal doesn't go far enough.
Yeah, so those are the individuals to whom Nancy Pelosi is characterizing as
God's children.
full of the spark of divinity. Now, question, of course, for theologian Pelosi would be, do children in the womb, do adults at the end of life in your euthanasia happy state of California, do they have that spark of divinity too? But that's a topic for another day. For more on this and other pressing issues, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Bret Baier, of course, anchor of Fox News' Special Report and author of the new book. You liked his book about Eisenhower? You're going to like his book about Reagan. 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what about the kind of curious case of taking President Trump to task over referring to one of the most murderous international criminal organizations as animals?
Yeah. You know, there are some moments that are more clear than others in the difference of perception of this president, of this administration, of the efforts to go after him. And this is one of those moments. I mean, if you go back to the tape of the answer to the question where he uses the phrase, it's not even close. I mean, it's not. The question deals with MS-13. He's clearly referring to MS-13. And as Sarah mentioned, and there are many, many more examples of MS-13 doing heinous things across the country. Talk to people in Long Island about this. Talk to people in some of these communities that are just savaged by this gang. And you know, I think it's pretty amazing to listen to that out of context. And it took a day for everyone to finally realize or concede that he was talking about the gang.
Yeah, but
it seems
they're
weird that people are-
protecting. Then they're rallying to the defense of MS-13 effectively.
Right, and that is really tone deaf. I mean, do you think that's going to play in the midterms in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania? That people are like, yes, we agree. You know, defend MS-13.
Oh my God!
How is that polling?
Yeah, how's
right.
that polling going to go? So we're learning about an alleged spy inside the Trump campaign. The FBI seems to be spinning this as it was maybe a source or whoever leaked. This is going to be, you know, it's putting American safety at risk. But do you have any, with your sources, have any information who this alleged spy might be?
I mean, we have a lot of people floating around there, and I think it'll come out probably in coming days. But you know, nothing locked down yet. I think there's a lot that we don't know on both sides of this investigation. The most interesting thing, I think, will be a definitive, newsworthy event when the IG's report comes out, Michael Horowitz. But how long it's going to take for the DOJ and the FBI to make sure it's not classified is a question.
Well, on this topic, though, I think Andy McCarthy sort of nailed the key point of this Crossfire Hurricane story the New York Times had earlier this week, which is that the Obama administration used its counterintelligence powers to investigate the opposition party's presidential campaign. If this checks out, if this is true, is Trump, I mean, you're a Joe Friday kind of straight down the middle guy, so maybe I'm overreacting. That's why I want to use you as a barometer. But if what the New York Times reported is true, and that lead that they buried, that Andy McCarthy just pointed out, Is Trump right when he tweets that this could be bigger than Watergate?
Well, we don't know what we don't know, but it's you would have to have a reason to get that person as an informant in the campaign, right? And there would have to be checks and balances, and a judge or somebody would sign off. Otherwise, you would have to explain why this happened in the middle of a presidential race. What was the reasoning? What was behind it? I think that, there's a lot of intriguing stuff here that I think is going to come out, if I had to guess, in the next couple of weeks.
I'm obsessed with the royal
Oh,
wedding.
my
Oh,
God.
well, come on.
We're talking about the fate of the representative republic in which we live, and you want to talk about
can't stop
Angela Merkel or whoever it is
No,
that's marrying
it's
Prince Harry.
Meghan Markle,
Oh, yeah, right.
former sorority sister Kappa Kappa Gamma. Are you going to be watching the royal wedding? And be honest. Please tell me you are.
No.
Ah.
I will not be watching.
Thank you.
What about your wife? Is she going to watch?
I'm sure she'll watch something, but I hope she doesn't get up that early.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to wake you up?
No. Actually, I'm on the road for this book tour, so she can get up whenever she wants to. But,
Okay, then let's discuss
No,
your
I'm not
book.
I'm not going to watch it. I'll see a clip or two. How about that?
There you go.
So,
Thank you.
So since you brought up the family, Brett, I know you're an avid golfer. How does your wife, because of the incident with Lucas Glover, so I know you follow PGA, how does your wife treat you when you
If you have a bad show?
have a bad show, or frankly don't play well on the course and embarrass the family?
Not like that, fortunately.
Oh, good.
Holy cow.
Did you hear the 911 tape?
Oh, I have not. Is it really
Oh,
bad?
you treat yourself to that. It's one of the reasons why Dan Proft is still single.
That's right. But also,
He shows examples of crazy women, and another reason why Dan Proft is single.
But let me also say, if you weren't a Lucas Glover fan before, you're going to be a Lucas Glover fan after you hear that 911 call.
You are now.
One other note about your show that we want, because you had an update this week, and I know our listeners are very interested in hearing about Charles Krauthammer and his medical condition, which I heard the good news that it's improving.
Yes, it is. And his doctors think the worst is behind him. And that's great. He's had a number of surgeries, and he is in recuperation and communicating, and I'm hoping he's going to be back in full force sometime soon.
And where are you right now for your book tour?
I'm down in Florida. I'm in Naples, but I'm heading over to the Villages, America's friendliest hometown, and then Vero Beach, and then I'm going out west to the Lincoln Library and other places.
While you're in Naples, I recommend Burnt, Rocky Patel Cigar Lounge. You should check it out.
Fantastic place. I like Rocky, too.
There you go. All right. He is Brett Baer, anchor of Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time, and author of the new book, which he's touring to promote, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Brett, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Betty's looking up that 911 call right now. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
We're all one stray 9-iron away from that.
how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will be honoring Princess Diana. But first, here's your forecast. Maybe I should have called in sick today. I keep seeing it. Plenty of sunshine. Right now, a high of 72, but the clouds are going to move in this afternoon. Possible rain on and off throughout tonight, a low of 56. Saturday, rain in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy, a high 74. And for Sunday, we're going to have cloudy skies, a shower, thunderstorm in spots, a high of 66 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Center. Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Well, some drivers on the northbound tri-state might be wishing they'd called in on this Friday morning. It's very heavy. From Archer to 47th and then jammed solid. Roosevelt to the Grand Avenue curve, a crash just cleared out of the way. So on Reagan Tollway stop and go Farnsworth to Raymond after a collision. Northbound Veterans Memorial, it's slow in pockets from 75th to St. Charles. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 22. Kennedy, 44 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. Express lanes take a tad longer, outbound 35 minutes. Eisenhower an hour, 390 to downtown, 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 39 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 40. Farther south, it's a crash past US 6 in the right lane. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, but after a crash at 79th, Bishop Ford, 55 minutes from 8094 to the merge. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy, you teased that the royal couple will going to honor Princess Diana tomorrow. Text from 847, the new royal couple will honor Princess Diana by speeding away after the wedding with the drunk driver. Is that right?
That is so. No, Princess Diana's favorite flower is the white rose. So there's going to be white roses everywhere. And in her engagement ring, have you seen her engagement ring?
No.
Probably not. But
How much did taxpayers have to fork over for that?
Stop it. Prince Harry brought it himself. But he didn't have to pay for the diamonds because inside the ring is comprised of 2 of Princess Diana's diamonds. And who can explain it better than me?
Anybody?
Prince Harry.
The little diamonds either side are from my mother's jewelry collection to make sure that she's with us on this crazy journey together.
See, he even just said it, this crazy journey together. And the reason why we say crazy is because we're learning this morning that Prince Charles, not her real dad, is going to be walking her down the aisle. But listen to this. And Mike Scott, you have to pay attention to this. This is how it's going to go down. She's going to walk down the aisle by herself. And then Prince Charles is going to meet her halfway. But the ceremony is going to omit the traditional moment of giving away. So the presiding archbishop isn't going to ask, who giveth this woman to be married to this man? They're just going to admit that, and he's going to drop her off.
I faded out. I think I blacked out for a second. Did we do the Yanny Laurel segment yet?
Oh, you mean Yanny Laurel?
Laurel. Laurel. Laurel.
What do you hear? Do you still hear Laurel?
It's Laurel. That's what's being said. So now what about at the White House?
At the White House, the staff had fun. They want people to know that, they're not just stuffy Republicans over there. Mike Pence, cast of characters that
Bunch of
are in
cutouts.
this. They want to know, did you hear Yanny or Laurel?
So clearly Laurel.
Well, that's
That's
Yanny.
Ivanka.
It's Laurel.
That's saying Yanny, but you say Laurel.
It's Laurel. But I could deflect and divert to Yanny if you need me to.
Kellyanne Conway.
It's clearly Yanny.
Yanny. Definitely Yanny. Yanny's a winner. Laurel's a loser.
Sarah, it's been reported that you hear Laurel. How do you respond?
Clearly, you're getting your information from CNN because that's fake news. All I hear is Yanni.
Oh, man, that's Laurel.
Laurel. It's Laurel, America. Definitely hashtag Laurel.
Who's Yanny?
I hear Kofefi.
And it ends with President Trump. I hear Kofefi.
Trump was the only funny
Kofifi.
one in that little ensemble skit they
It
did.
was funny. Mike Pence was funny because he was listening, and it was a side angle shot. He said, "Who's Yanny?"
But that's
Mike Pence was-
but that's a different thing. What you played before,
This?
it's clearly Laurel.
Laurel.
That's Laurel.
Laurel.
They're playing something else because when they play at the White House, that's clearly Yanny.
Yeah, they're playing it at 2 separate speeds. It's not even what you hear. It depends on what video you click on, whether you get the slower speed Laurel or the sped up version, which is Yanny.
All right. So
Yanny.
the question,
Yeah.
which is dumber,
Oh, here
the
we
whole
go.
Yanny Laurel thing or the royal wedding?
But Harry misses his mom, Princess Diana.
It is days like today when I really miss having her around and miss being able to share the happy news.
I heard Yanny.
I heard Harry.
I heard the pan flute.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to UVA professor Gerard Alexander about his piece in the New York Times. Liberals, you're not as smart as you think. Why does he think that? At 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Yanny Scott.
Sunshine and 52 degrees. Police in Miami say a man who was yelling about President Trump apparently exchanged gunfire with other officers at a golf resort owned by the president overnight. It happened in the lobby of the Trump National Doral Golf Club. Police found the suspect armed with a handgun. They shot him several times before taking him into custody. He's being treated at an area hospital. One officer did suffer minor injuries. Officials are telling people on Hawaii's Big Island to be prepared for another big explosion from the Kilauea volcano. On Thursday, an eruption sent thick clouds of gray ash 30,000 feet into the air. Gina Haspel is the new director of the CIA. Haspel becomes the first woman to head that spy agency after the Senate confirmed her on a 54-45 vote. Civil rights advocates are now suing New Jersey over what they say is segregation in the state's public school system. The NAACP, New Jersey Conference, and the Latino Action Network accuse state officials of denying large numbers of black and Latino students a decent education. 2 are wounded following a shooting at a gas station in South Holland. Police say the victims were shot early this morning at a gas depot near Sibley and State. A car at the scene had been riddled with bullets. City's Plan Commission approves the Obama Center in Chicago yesterday after 7 hours of testimony. And authorities are still searching for a 3-month-old girl and her mother after they went missing this week from Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood. Royalty Wolf's biological mother, according to DCFS, likely took her during a supervised visit on Monday. And there's a new dog-friendly restaurant coming to the northwest suburbs. Vernon Hills, to be exact. Lazy Dog Restaurant and Bar will be located in the new Melody Farm retail area. This is apparently a thing. It's a chain known for its pet-friendly patios. The Lazy Dog Restaurant and Bar will employ about 200. Dogs are allowed, but not inside. They get their own patio, their own menu, and that includes burgers and chicken. Rangers and the White Sox last night, a 4-2 win for the Southsiders. Wellington Castillo capped an 8th-inning rally with a 2-run single. Cubs and Braves were wiped out because of rain. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price every day, so you can meet every deadline at Staples. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees a threat to democracy, and it's not the president.
There is so much damaging to the American body politic by the anti-Trump left in this country. They keep screaming he is a threat to democracy. It's all nonsense. You can't point to a thing that makes him a threat to democracy. The threat to democracy in the United States, like everywhere, is the left.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Celebrate Dad, your grad, or those closest to you with the fresh flavors of Weekend Brazilian Brunch, now at Fogo de Chão in Chicago, Rosemont, and Naperville.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
7:35 on AM 560. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home, and time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL, and time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Tri-State Tollway northbound. It is bottled up from 95th to 47th and from Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve where crash is cleared. Southbound stop and go from the Adams Tollway to the curve. Reagan Tollway jammed. 25 to Raymond after a crash. Northbound Veterans Memorial. It's heavy Boughton most of the way to St. Charles. And we also have a delay southbound Army Trail Toll to St. Charles. Edens, 19 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 24. Kennedy, 43 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 35. The Eisenhower's an hour and 2 minutes from 390 to downtown. 47 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 39 to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40. Ryan, 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time at a low price every day. You can beat every deadline. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Pleasant day ahead. Sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds and maybe some light drizzle into the early evening, high 72, low of 56 overnight. Currently, sunshine and 53. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The National Association of Scholars recently did a study, just about a month or so ago, about the partisan ideological distribution of professors on campus. And it found that the only independent-minded professor, I should say, in America is Gerard Alexander, and we're happy to have him now. He's a professor at the University of Virginia, and he wrote a piece that's generating a lot of interest and I'm sure backlash from his colleagues. New York Times this week, liberals, you're not as smart as you think. Professor Alexander, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you.
The liberals, you're not as smart as you think. I read the piece. It seems to be directed at perhaps some in the poli-sci department at UVA and elsewhere. And so I wonder how this is being received within your professional circles.
Just to joke about the title for a second, as you know as well as I, op-ed writers never pick their own titles. I might have gone with something more like, you're not as persuasive as you think.
Yes.
It is a little bit provocative. No newspaper can pass up provoking readers, and it seems to have worked because, it, like you said, it has got a lot of attention. And, you know, it's not really directed against certainly my colleagues at UVA, but it's provoked two kinds of reactions. One is, a very angry, don't call us stupid. They read the title and really don't get beyond it, or they read the content and reject it, largely on the grounds that they're saying, look, how can I possibly think of conservatives well when they're so terrible? And the alternative, though, which is most of the emails I received personally from strangers, is I'm a liberal, and thank you for saying this. Someone needs to talk to my people in my own ranks about being more civil, about judging other people less, being more respectful of people with other opinions. And so I've actually, I expected a lot of the rejection, but I've been actually kind of heartened by how many people, you got the feeling they were sort of whispering it to me instead of announcing it in their own lives publicly, but they were saying, thank you for saying this. I've been thinking that this was necessary for a while.
How much of the problem on campus, I referenced this National Association of Scholars study. The numbers are not surprising, but they're sort of daunting. Williams College, 132 to 1, Democrats or Republicans. Swarthmore, 120 to 1. Wellesley, 136 to 1. Bryn Mawr, 72-0. Pitch a shutout. Vassar, 35 to 1. On and on and on. And I wonder how much the problem is the lack of intellectual diversity on campus, and that's the responsibility of those who make personnel decisions, such that you have a bunch of liberals running around like fish, not recognizing they're in water.
I think that's a great way to think about it. We know that colleges matter because it determines what people teach, it determines how they teach it, it determines what they do research on, and therefore what's written to be taught to begin with. And we know, too, that colleges matter because they go on to educate people who go into the mainstream media, who go into, Hollywood screenwriting, and so much of the rest of the elite of our country that, writes the words we hear, that, gives speeches, that writes cultural products like movies and television shows. They're this incredibly prominent presence, and not just on campus, but in lots of other, venues as well. And it is worth pointing out, there is a lot of disagreement among liberals and progressives about all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. It's not like Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders don't argue with one another. They do. The problem is exactly what you just pointed out, which is that there's a lot of argument on campuses and in our culture between different kinds of liberals and progressives. What they're all sort of inadvertently kind of ignorant of is any good faith understanding of what conservatives have to think or say. And of course, there's disagreement among conservatives too, because that's what happens when 100 million people, are in a community that we call one thing, but it's bound to be complicated and have differing opinions because we're all individuals. And the fish and water I think, is exactly the right analogy. They just very often don't realize how bubbled off their views are. But the point of my article was they don't realize, therefore, how they come across. So the thrust of my article, I stop talking at you. I'm a professor, so it's my habit. But the thrust of my article was to liberals, I don't think you understand how you come across. Mm-hmm. You don't understand how often your tone comes across as, sort of socially and intellectually superior. I don't think you realize how often it comes across as lecturing and hectoring people instead of trying to have a conversation with them. And we could think of a lot of examples. I'm sure you could think of way more than I, but I mean, it's something that a lot of us receive. I just don't know that the senders of those signals fully realize they're sending them and the effects of that.
Well, in your article, you mentioned, a few particular examples of recent annoying and repulsive liberal behavior, and that included the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
That's right. But, I suppose we could say that people with thick skins, the President of the United States, his press secretary, I guess they're supposed to be able to take it. But, consider alongside that high school student in Utah who wore a Chinese-style dress to her prom. If people who were offended by that, and to be honest, I don't really understand arguments about cultural appropriation to begin with. Maybe you do, but I don't. I don't understand what's wrong with eating foods and wearing clothes that you admire and appreciate, but even if they're from other cultures. But hey, maybe I just need to be educated about this. But let's say you were offended. So send her a gentle, social media post, a tweet or whatever, trying to talk to her. And instead, as so often happens, a social media mob descended on her, yelling at her, berating her like she was one of the worst people who's ever walked the earth. That is not a way to have a conversation. It's a way to push people away from you, not educate them, not bring them to your side. It's a bullying tactic, not a conversational one.
Well,
and it happens all the time.
Well, that seems to be the left in general. They're projecting what they are. So they rail against bullying and preach tolerance and suggest that their opponents are the bullies and the intolerant, and that's what they're projecting onto their opponents. And so I wonder if is there the possibility of substantial reflection when the sort of modus operandi of the left is the bigot baiting, as Rusty Reno calls it, that you're describing?
Yeah. Now, look, some things could be reformed. Some things I think are easier calls than others. So, for example, one of my pieces of advice to liberals is if you believe that certain words, phrases, or kinds of language are hurtful to others, don't use them yourself. Censor yourself. And along the way, maybe explain in a civil tone what you're doing. But do not try, as so often happens on campuses, to regulate the speech of other people, to regulate what words come out of their mouths. It's just a basic kind of respect of another person. That's a kind of nice, bright line that I think is relatively easy to follow. If you don't like a speaker who's coming to your campus, don't try to shut them down or disinvite them. Let them have their say, and then afterward, not during, afterward, hold an event in which you explain why you disagree with them. That's the civil way to approach these things. But you're right that the bigot baiting is a different creature, because I seem to be asking, and that's how some people took my article, I seem to be asking liberals, stop accusing people of racism even if it's true. And that's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is there is perhaps no bigger divide in America today than between liberals and progressives who attribute a huge number of events in America to racism, and conservatives who find, real racism very disturbing, but who think that liberal and progressive discussions of it are wildly exaggerated. And that, above all, the idea that all conservatives are fundamentally racist in some important way, that's just a real misrepresentation of the facts. And that one's a really hard one to resolve, because liberals really do feel like someone like me is suggesting to them, stop calling it racism even if it is, because it offends people. And if they really do see racism everywhere, that's a really hard thing to get someone to stop doing. Because it's very, very self-reinforcing, right? They are just very open to narratives that confirm that to them, that validate that interpretation. And it's very hard to break through and make the case that, you can hold a position on MS-13 without being a racial or ethnic bigot. But it's a very hard conversation to have when somebody has their ears already closed to you and thinks they have nothing to learn from you.
Oh, so go back to those colleagues of yours who are liberal, but their ears are open and they're open to being persuaded. What's the mix, do you think, of when you see something? Let me just use an extreme example. The college professor at Middlebury who was assaulted by a student for the crime of walking on campus with Charles Murray.
So I know Allison Stanger a little bit. We communicated after that and after my piece just came out. She is herself not conservative,
right?
But she represents. I think this is a very important thing to say. She represents a lot of academics on campuses who are liberal but not radical or intolerant. And I have a lot of colleagues like that at UVA, and there are a lot of them out there in America. It's definitely overwhelmingly liberal, and definitely conservatives are, grossly absent on most campuses. That I'm not debating for a second. But it is not true that the average academic out there is a, Ward Churchill type, a 9/11 truther, radically intolerant. That's just not the case.
But
a lot of them, even the majority, are actually kind of old-style moderate liberals who believe that you have to have pluralism of various kinds. They may not produce it very well on their own campuses, but all the energy and noise is in the hands of sort of the left of the left, and that in many campuses that's definitely not the majority, but they are the loudest by far.
Well, and so this goes to the kind of point I was getting to. So the question I was going to ask was, is it cowardice or allegiance to cultural Marxism? And you're essentially saying it's, to maybe be a little bit uncharitable, it's cowardice.
I hate to use that word. People are careful. We're all careful in our own ways. Maybe you two aren't, but a lot of people are out of habit or because of it. No, but I mean, part of what you do is to speak up and to call things as they are. I mean, that's a big part of your mission, is to call out things that others might not see or might not be up to calling out in their own, and fortifying them and emboldening them in the process. But a lot of people they're more polite, they're more risk averse, they're more cautious, they're more concerned with career issues. But for any number of reasons, they are afraid to speak up. And mind you, those who have a few moderate liberal journalists who've said this is going too far, a few moderate liberal or even progressive professors who've stuck their heads above the wall and said this is going too far, they've quickly been branded, creatures of white privilege, creatures of male privilege. They've been, they are instantly tarred in those ways that can hurt your audience, that can, impugn your credibility. They're in a very complicated position, and I'm, do I wish they would all simultaneously speak up? Yeah, but that's not how human beings tend to work.
I have a lot of flaming liberal female friends, and they're starting to wake up. I mean, one even said, you know what, that whole calling illegals. What did President Trump say? He called
animals.
Animals. I'm sorry, animals.
Yeah.
And she said, and if you look at the entire interview, he talked about the gang members that are animals.
Yeah.
And so I think they're slowly starting to realize, you know what, the media is biased against President Trump, and they are turning the facts to support their own narrative.
I've had a few other op-ed editors ask me, what would I like to write about? And it's a way of asking, what would you like to contribute to the national conversation? And I always joke, I've been joking for like a year or two now, it's very hard to figure out what to contribute to the national conversation in this dumb a time that we're alive. It's a really bad national conversation we're having. And I think we should all try to, sort of press on ourselves and people on our side of the aisle and people on the other. Let's bring the temperature down. Let's hang up a lot of the outrage. Let's, above all, assume that there is a lot of good faith among people on our side and on the other. And I think that's often what's missing in our national conversations. And one of the things that does is that people feel justified in editing Trump's words yesterday so that they cut out the part about the conversation that immediately proceeded about gangs. And I bet you a lot of the media people who produced those edited versions of what he said to make it look like he was speaking about immigrants in general, their attitude, I bet in many cases, is, I'm justified in doing this because the other side is so terrible. And that is, license to do anything. And that's not how a healthy democracy can work.
Do you find hope for an improved conversation, including on college campuses, by the rise of organizations like Heterodox Academy, Mark Lilla and Jonathan Haidt, and some sort of center-left scholars that are trying to kind of chart a middle way?
Absolutely. The only question is, did they end up having enough traction? And what they're trying to do, I think, is clear space in which a lot of other liberal faculty feel safe to say, we have to have a broader conversation here. This is a big country, and it's populated by lots of people. Let's assume a lot of good faith on their parts, and let's include a lot more voices. And I think, in a way, Donald Trump's election, was obviously very polarizing, and at one level it could be seen as really harmful for that discussion in the sense that it made a lot of liberals and progressives justified in doing anything and saying anything. They find him so repugnant. But I know a ton of liberals who haven't become less liberal since his election, but his election did reveal to them an America that they were not in the habit of thinking about, and they knew it. They admitted it to themselves afterwards, that we need to learn more, we need to listen more. We may not have to agree, but they learned that they came to appreciate it. Taught them that they were living in a bubble to an extent they had not realized, and I think that might be helpful. And I do think, here's my prediction for the day, and mine are usually wrong, so take it for what it's worth. If Trump is reelected in 2020, especially if he's reelected with a popular vote majority, so that his victory couldn't be discounted as just, machinations of an electoral college, I think that it'll be a real moment of reckoning for American liberals. They'll have an option between sort of doubling down on what they've been doing or saying, hey, we really need to rethink how we're going about this. And I think if he wins re-election, they will have contributed to it. So, for instance, I'm a conservative who I'm not in love with the president, and above all, it's because I was not convinced he was going to be a particularly conservative president. I don't doubt for one second that had Senate Democrats, had Charles Schumer and others been more open to working with him, I bet you, for instance, the tax bill would have been less conservative than it was. I bet you Donald Trump would have been very open to that. I think part of the reason he ended up being as conservative as he's been is because the Democratic Party treated him like a pariah, treated him as untouchable. And I think that they've treated his voters that way, his passionate voters, and also the many Republicans who just went along because he was their nominee, ones who even held their noses and voted for him because he was the Republican nominee and against Hillary Clinton. They have pushed so many people away, and starting with him but ending with half the country. And I do think that if he wins re-election, they will have contributed to that. They won't have been the only cause, but they will have contributed to that. And that ought to lead to a real self-examination of the kind that we should all have from time to time. But that should be their moment to do that.
He is Gerard Alexander, poli-sci professor at the University of Virginia. The piece, not his title, but his content, Liberals, You're Not As Smart As You Think, in the New York Times. Professor, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. Two different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He's too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. And I recommend it to everybody.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Someday, someone you love will ask for help. And although Lake County Right to Life is not a crisis center, it is an educational and political organization involved in educating the public about current life issues and legislations. They take an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They formed the Lake County PAC to actively work in helping elect local Lake County candidates who are pro-life, pro-family legislators. These people support life-affirming legislation. Please help the cause. A crisis program center saves lives one at a time. Legislation saves thousands of lives. Lake County Right to Life supports women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Good public policy is supposed to protect the most vulnerable and does not impose on a taxpayer to pay for the lesser good, namely abortion. That takes everybody working together. For donations or information, visit lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org.
When you purchase an alarm system, you do it for one reason above all others. You need to know something about the people or property under your care. Knowing that what matters most will be looked after by professionals when you can't be there is a comforting feeling. At Alarm Detection Systems, we've learned a great deal from our decades of service. We know how to treat customers on the phone. We know that installing quality security products using certified technicians is the only way to go. We know that same-day service and local monitoring will provide the safety and peace of mind you're looking for. You no longer have to wonder if your home or business is protected by your alarm system. Know that it is. At home or on the go, the information you seek is right in your hands. It's good to be in the know. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300 or online at adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So wait, who's is Fergie?
Fergie's two daughters are invited to the wedding. Fergie's not going to the wedding.
She's the one that sings My Lady Lumps? My Lady Lumps. And she's also a royal?
She was Prince Andrew's wife.
And
then
his
they
sister,
got divorced.
right?
No,
I
she's
can't
the
keep track of
redhead.
who's incesting who over there.
Oh, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. Can we talk about it? Oh, yeah. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Chicago police officer dragged by a driver during a Southside traffic stop. WIND Chicago News Time. It's 8 o'clock.
He wants a Reagan policy to trump a Clinton one. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The president wants to bring back a rule on abortion first proposed decades ago, putting restrictions on clinics getting federal funding. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The White House is rolling out a proposal that would effectively ban Planned Parenthood and other similar clinics from providing abortions under the same roof as operations funded by federal family planning grants. The Department of Health and Human Services is announcing the proposed rule today, which would go into effect after a listening period. The move was blasted by organizations which represent family planning clinics across the country. Republicans in Congress have so far been unsuccessful in their efforts to defund Planned Parenthood nationwide. Dave?
And John, the president has tweeted the fake news got it wrong, reporting he said this about illegal immigrants on Wednesday.
These aren't people. These are animals.
Well, the president wrote he was referring only to MS-13 gang members, a big difference, adding they are begrudgingly forced to withdraw their stories. A man shouting something about President Trump started shooting inside the lobby of the Trump Golf Club in Doral, Florida, near Miami early this morning.
It appears that he was trying to engage our police officers, some type of ambush type of attack.
Miami-Dade Police Director Juan Perez says the man lost the gunfight and is wounded. They've handed out 2,000 face masks in Hawaii, where toxic gas and ash from Kilauea making it harder to breathe. A big explosion early yesterday spewed a plume 30,000 feet into the sky.
More groundwater may be getting into the system, and we expect that similar events could continue.
Gina Snyder with the Hawaii County Mayor's Office. Lava's burned down more than 24 homes in the Big Island. It's already a celebration in Windsor, England. The day before the royal wedding, and it's been announced Prince Charles will walk American actress Meghan Markle down the aisle to marry his son, Prince Harry. Her father couldn't go for health reasons. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 53 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. No one is in custody after a Chicago police officer was dragged by a driver during a traffic stop on the south side. It happened last night near 68th and Damon. 2 are wounded following a shooting at a gas station in South Holland. Police say the victims were shot early this morning at the gas depot near Sibley and State. A student shot by a school resource police officer after firing a gun at Dixon High School is due in court today. Matthew Milby is charged with 3 counts of felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. The 19-year-old was released from the hospital yesterday. The Obama Presidential Center is one step closer to reality. Alderman Danny Solis expressed his backing for the project yesterday before the city's Plan Commission.
I am wholeheartedly supporting this. And I want to tell the rest of the people in Chicago, wake up. This is a dream come true.
The proposal was approved by the Plan Commission after 7 hours of testimony. The first African-American to serve on the Illinois Supreme Court says he's ready to retire. Justice Charles Freeman yesterday announcing that this term will be his last. Freeman was first elected to the court in 1990 and says he'll retire on June 14th. Appeals Court Judge Scott Neville will fill Freeman's seat until voters can choose a new justice. White Sox over the Rangers 4-2. Cubs and Braves were wiped out because of rain last night. In Chicago, it is 8:03. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, mortgage rates are at the highest level since 2011. Freddie Mac says the average for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rose to 4.61% this week from 4.55%. Rates were as low as 3.99% as recently as January. Deere & Company earnings are in. Its numbers are mixed. International gaming company Paddy Power Betfair says it will be expanding in the U.S. following the Supreme Court decision on Monday that allows states to legalize sports gambling. Paddy Power says it hopes New Jersey's operation will be ready for the NFL season in September. Campbell's Soup will be seeing some changes. The company says Denise Morrison, its president and chief executive officer, is retiring. Keith McLaughlin, a Campbell board member, will be interim CEO. The Dow was down 54 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped 15. S&P down 2. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains what was wrong with the Iran deal.
It has nothing to do with the other thing that Iran is doing. The missiles, arming Syria, helping Al-Qaeda, founding Hezbollah, arming Hezbollah, financing terror, financing other terror groups, covert terror groups. They're the ones financing the bad guys in Yemen. And none of that was included in the deal. None of it.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you manage a manufacturing operation that includes Allen Bradley controls that have been phased out? Innovative Control, Inc., a 25-year-old control system integrator located in Chicagoland, understands that converting to new platforms is expensive, and in many cases, a minimal return on the investment. ICI works with their customers to help find justification for these projects, adding functions for equipment efficiency calculations, real-time material consumption and tracking, the Internet of Things, and connectivity with your business system can contribute to your ROI. As part of the process, network security is a cornerstone to help protect your physical and intellectual property. ICI will meet with you and your team to understand your operations and current control system. From this review, they identify additional functions that can offset the costs, creating a return on the investment. For your company's review, contact Dave Stock at 815-529-2915 or visit ICI560.com. That's Dave Stock at 815-529-2915 or online at ICI560.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
.807 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound Tri-State has heavy delays from 95th Street all the way up to the Grand Avenue curve after an earlier crash. Southbound at Stop and Go from Jane Addams Tollway to the curve, and farther south at 95th, crash in the right lane. The Adams Tollway looks good. It's on Reagan Tollway. It's bottled up from 25 to Raymond. Veterans Memorial slows southbound from the Army Trail Toll to St. Charles. Northbound Fountain Road most of the way to St. Charles. Edens is clear. Inbound, outbound 26 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy inbound delays start at Montrose. 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. No savings in the Express. Outbound it's 30. Eisenhower 56 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 43. Stevenson 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 42 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Staples. Staples to help your business stand out. Custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only. N623. Exclusions apply. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds, high 72. Tonight, occasional rain and drizzle, low 56. A little rain early in the morning tomorrow, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently in Chicago, 54. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Given the furor over Trump's animals comment about murderous gang members from El Salvador, how about a substantive topic on immigration that you don't get with the D.C. press corps and the cable news channels that want to try and mischaracterize the president's term for professional murderers? Do we have an immigrant shortage? Or are we choking on too many legal immigrants? the White House issuing a statement that the nation is choking on the 10.7 million legal immigrants and refugees allowed in the country over the past 10 years, in addition to the estimated 11 million people here illegally. The White House statement, our expansive humanitarian-based, family-based, and lottery-based immigration system fails to consider the needs of American workers and taxpayers who've been burdened by decades of low-skilled immigration that has suppressed wages, fueled unemployment, strained federal resources. There are suggestions that many of the people that come here end up on the welfare rolls, and that is true. And this is really a statement in advance of the proposed reforms that the president has pursued in conjunction, of course, since the beginning of the year with a potential deal on the DACA designees, which has not come to pass. But there's other suggestions that what we really need is an influx of immigrants to come here legally and work, low-skilled, medium-skilled, and high-skilled. Part of that is because of our historically low birth rate. 30-year low, federal figures released Thursday show, down 2% from 2016, the lowest number since 1987. The rate of births to women ages 15 to 44 sank to a record low of about 60 per 1,000. And as James Freeman points out in his Best of the Web column at the Wall Street Journal, we're not welcoming much new talent from overseas either. Immigration to the U.S. has lately accounted for even fewer new residents than the historically low levels of domestic baby making. And so you have particular industries. I was talking to a friend of mine who's got a lake home up in the Paw Paw area in Michigan.
Paw Paw, yeah.
Try and find an electrician or a carpenter to do anything. Union, non-union, anybody who's competent
They
to
need
do
a
the work.
handyman, right.
Friend in Naples, talking to people down there in construction and real estate. The dearth of workers. We need more workers down here. It's tough to find workers.
Yeah.
Lisa Murkowski, a Republican senator from Alaska, talking about her home state fisheries. Heavy users of the H-2B visa program for low-skilled workers. They're in desperate need of a decision soon for the companies to have workers in place for the summer fish run in Alaska.
God, didn't you? I knew so many people from Iowa who spent the summers in Alaska just fishing for certain companies. They made $22 an hour, but back in the 90s, that was a lot of money.
I want to do Deadliest Catch. I still want to do that.
And they loved it. I mean, it was hard work, but they made enough money over the summer to pay for the entire year of school.
Jean Shaheen, Democrat senator from New Hampshire, saying businesses in New Hampshire are having a difficult time finding workers. She said last summer restaurants closed on certain days because they didn't have enough workers. I mean, we're talking about, by the government's own numbers, historically low unemployment, under 4%. Even the U6 is under 8%. And then this study out of the University of North Florida that suggests that bringing in new talent doesn't really hurt existing talent, may even help. A former regional Fed economist named Madeline Zavodny, who's an academic at University of North Florida, finds the results may be surprising, but they're consistent with research that finds immigration has little adverse effect on native-born workers' wages and employment. Not all American workers are doing well, concedes. The results of her study simply point to the fact that immigrants are not to blame for deeper structural forces or circumstances that may have led to dim labor market prospects for some workers. So should we be going the direction of Tom Cotton and David Perdue, two Republican senators who want, they're sponsors of the RAISE Act that seeks to cut legal immigration to this country from about 1 million a year and half to about 500,000 a year, cap the H-1B visa program? Should we be going that direction, or should we be doing something the president wants to do on border security, the wall, personnel, stopping the flow of people into this country illegally, but then doing more on the legal front, whether it's temporary worker programs, some of these visa designations for various skill levels of workers, people coming here to work legally, Should we be doing more on that front to help grow the American economy? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Because if we don't figure out something like that, here's what you're going to get from the left as well as surrender Republicans. Illinois, Dateline. Senate Bill 3109, kicking around in Springfield.
No, what's this one?
Eliminate all citizenship requirements for state-regulated professions. All Democrats supporting it, as well as these Republican senators. Same old. Chris Nybo, who also supports gun bans, who supports ERA, the pro-abort ERA. Tom Rooney, same camp. I'm sorry to say I like Tom, but just another terrible policy position. And Chuck Weaver, Republican senator from Peoria. The bill would delete all provisions in state law that require those applying for state licenses to state they are a U.S. citizen or legally admitted alien. So all regulated professions by DPR, including doctors, architects, dentists, nurses, pharmacists, accountants, and vets. We talked about this with Larry Elder a little bit last night. I didn't realize it, but California implemented this a couple of years ago. So is New York. So if it's a bad idea for New York and California to implement, you can be sure Illinois will be right behind them, and we are. Tom in Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I'm a small employer, and I think one of the problems that myself and guys like myself have are finding qualified people that have a decent work ethic.
Yeah.
A good day's work, show up on time. There's plenty of workers out there, Dan. I can go to any Home Depot in the city here, or even in the suburbs now, and you'll find 20, 30 guys every morning out there just trying to find day labor. But it's the quality of the labor, even the laborers, which is very difficult. People who know how to pick up a bag or sweep a floor. You'd be surprised at what kids aren't being taught nowadays. In America, my generation too, but they're just not taught from a young age how to do the manual tasks.
Yep.
And I think we need to get back to that.
I think all the moms
Thanks for the call, Tom.
whose young teenage sons are sitting in the basement playing Fortnite should get them out this summer and have them get a work permit and get a job. I had got a work permit when I turned 15. It's the first thing I did. And then I worked at Randhurst Mall.
What'd you do? What'd you do there?
I worked at I'm not kidding you. It's a taco place called Diamond Dave's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I worked the cashier and put on the gloves and made some tacos and burritos.
Did you ever get in a fight with a female patron who wanted to use the bathroom and protested by taking a dump on the floor, like at Tim Hortons?
No, I never encountered that.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
More civilized at Randhurst.
Yes, exactly.
Canadians. Patricia in Park Ridge.
Hi, guys. I just don't understand why the African American community hasn't taken on this issue as something that has taken jobs away from them.
Yeah.
I just see it as so many of these people who are coming in, overstaying their visas. I personally know people who have done that, and they're in this country illegally, and they just stay. And nobody's talking about that, But I think the African American community should be upset. They should be pissed off. They are U.S. citizens.
Thanks for the call,
Yeah,
Patricia.
but a lot of the Hispanic are taking jobs that Americans don't want to do. They don't want to bus tables. They don't want to mow the yard. They don't want to do sad.
There may be some of that, but here's the other piece of it, and this is something else that a few people want to confront, but I will, which is the welfare state has destroyed black families. It's destroyed families that are dependent on it, generally speaking, but most pronouncedly black families. So there's not incentives to work. There's it makes more financial, and it's not because people that are welfare state dependents are dumb. In fact, they're responding to incentives. They do the math. They figure out what's the better deal, and the better deal in most of these cases, because they're incentivized for destructive behavior, is I make more, I get more benefits by being on the dole as compared to getting a job, doing day labor work, and working your way up the ladder in a particular company or industry.
And then if you have a kid and you have to pay for daycare, it's like, I'll make more money if I just stay at home.
Here we go. Oh, no. We're going to find out what kind of day laborer Amy was from Tom in Hobart, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, yeah, I've been calling from Hobart, Indiana, but back in the mid-'80s when I was about 1985, I was 20 years old, and I used to go to Randhurst Mall a lot in those days in the mid-'80s, and I remember Diamond Dave's. And I think I remember Amy as a teenager who was probably about 5, maybe 6 years younger than myself at the time.
Why were you trolling Diamond Dave's for teenagers, Tom?
At the mall.
I wasn't. I was going to community college in those days.
Okay.
I had 2 part-time jobs, and I used to go there because I had friends that worked in the mall. I would go see them and get something to eat, maybe between classes.
Right, we were right at the top of the escalator. You make a right. That's where we were. But do you remember the beef and cheese burrito? That was my favorite. Now I'm starving. Do you remember that, Tom?
Yes, I do. I do remember that.
It's a big seller.
How was Amy's chalupa at the time, Tom?
I'd say at the time it was quite tasty.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All right, thanks for the call, Tom. This took a dark turn. I apologize. Moving on quickly.
Please.
Margot in Burr Ridge.
Yeah, I think the answer is taxation and taxes and welfare. Look, 66 to 74% of immigrants, legal or illegal, are on the government dole. And then you have people graduating from dental school with $350,000 in debt because that's what it costs to go to dental school.
Mm-hmm.
And they can no longer write off that loan thanks to the new tax law. So they can't write off the interest payments that they're making on those loans for dental school. If you got 2 dentists marrying each other, like I do, my daughter, that is a lot of money, and that is a lot of incentive for them not to have children, to put things off until they can get some of that debt retired. I mean, this whole system is crazy.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. Thanks for the call, Margot. Since he gave away so many cigars last night at our Larry Elder event, we'll take Sean from Elmwood Park.
Hi, Sean.
It was a financial beating, but I loved every minute of it. Listen, the problem with this whole thing, and I'm listening to it, it's different, Prof, when you're hearing and you think about what the professor said. It is not the well-intended American citizen who is the innocent bystander. You are the perpetrator. It is the American welfare system that we are fighting to protect. It has nothing to do with the immigrant who simply jumps into the pool you created.
Mm-hmm.
We built this welfare system, and now we complain when somebody comes from abroad and jumps in it. You are the problem. The American who loves welfare and pretends it isn't. From your public schools to the contractors who work seasonally, then go on unemployment. That's been happening for 5 decades, 50 years of the American worker who works part-time and then jumps on unemployment and pretends he's virtuous. We and the welfare system is the problem, not the immigrant.
Thanks for the call, Sean. Cindy in Schaumburg. Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Cindy.
Cindy?
Hello, yes.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you're on,
Yes,
Cindy.
hi, good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, the one thing, too, I'd like to say is corporate America is, backstabbing American workers. They have been gutting IT engineering jobs for decades, and AT&T, ComEd are all doing it, and it's just despicable. That's just my comment.
Thanks, Cindy.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. Two different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He's too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Illinois is disappearing, but that has not dampened Governor Rauner's penchant for feigned enthusiasm. Here's a mashup of Governor Rauner highlights since we don't have any policy highlights to point to.
Welcome to Tech 2018. Yay, 2018, yay!
Yay, 2018, celebrate that.
Illinois computer educators, technology educators, but all the teachers of Illinois. We're so blessed. Let's hear it for all the teachers of Illinois. Yay, teachers!
Yay, teachers!
Yay, teachers!
Yay, 2018, yay, teachers!
Yay for our teachers!
Yay, teachers!
Yay for our teachers!
Yay! Yay!
Yay for our teachers!
So genuine.
Yay, you're
yay.
our future!
Yeah. Yay, yay
our
for the kids, the future.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! Yay!
Yay, Kiki.
Yay!
Yay, Israel.
Yay, Israel!
Yay, Heinz.
Israel!
Yay, Heinz.
Yay!
Yay,
Yay!
Yay, Kennedys. Yay, you
Yay!
and Shriver.
Yay! Yay, Shriver! Yay, you! Yay! You! Yay, you! Yay, me!
Yay, Ann Burke.
Yay, Ann Burke! Yay, Ann Burke! Yay, Ann Burke
Yay,
Bentley!
Ann Burke.
Yay, Ann Burke, Supreme Court Justice!
Yay, Ramblers.
Yay, Ramblers! Yay, Loyola! Yay, Sister Jean! Yay! Yay! I mean, seriously, what the hell are we doing here?
Yay!
We are
Dan
ruled
Brock.
by cartoon
Yay!
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 Yay! Yay, Mike Scott! Yay! With the headlines! Yay, Scott! Yay, Mike Scott!
Yay!
Yay, Amy! Yay, royal wedding! Yay!
Yay!
Yay for the happy couple! Yay!
Yay!
Yay for fruitcake.
Yay!
Yay. Blue skies, 57 degrees outside. We're watching two developing stories for you, one that Dan and Amy will be following for the next half hour. There are reports of an active shooter at a high school in Santa Fe, Texas. The Santa Fe High School reportedly is on lockdown. Santa Fe is about 30 miles southeast of Houston. Police in Miami this morning say a man who was yelling about President Trump exchanged gunfire with officers in the lobby of the golf resort owned by the president. Miami-Dade Police Director Juan Perez identifies the shooter as 42-year-old Jonathan Odie of Doral, Florida.
And we have identified his residence. We have personnel there on the scene, and we are preparing a search warrant to enter his residence to be able to appropriately search that residence.
Now, it happened at the Trump National Doral Golf Club around 1:30 this morning. The president, meantime, will deliver remarks at a prison reform summit today. Will be held at the White House and include a bipartisan group of activists, policymakers, and experts. A new fissure has opened up near Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. The Volcano Observatory says it's the 21st crack to split open near the volcano. No one is in custody after a Chicago police officer was dragged by a driver during a traffic stop on the south side last night near 64th and Damon. Early this morning, two were wounded following a shootout at a gas station in South Holland. Driver facing multiple citations following an ambulance crash in Aurora that left nearly a dozen hurt. And a painting by a black Chicago artist, Kerry James Marshall, titled Past Times, was sold by the Metropolitan Pier and Exposition Authority for just about $21 million at an auction last night at Sotheby's in New York. The sale price was the most ever paid for the work of a living African-American artist. Past Times had been on display at McCormick Place for years. White Sox 4-2 winners over the Rangers at the rate, while the Cubs and Braves were wiped out because of rain. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price so you can meet your deadline at Staples. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says, put up or shut up.
People who aren't suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are saying, show us the money, show us the collusion, because that was the whole basis for this investigation. The whole special counsel is based on that. It wasn't Paul Manafort's bank deals. All of that stuff is totally incidental and separate from the Russian collusion investigation.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Taking a look at traffic on in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center this Friday morning. We have a big jam on the outbound Eisenhower. Sacramento to Pulaski, 3 left lanes are blocked there. Police are responding to a situation in that area. Inbound, it is an hour to get from 390 to downtown and 37 minutes from Manheim. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. Kennedy, 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. A little heavier in the express, though. Outbound 32 minutes. Stevenson runs 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 43 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Tri-State tight southbound from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from the Stevenson to the Grand Avenue Curve. Delays on the Reagan Tollway, 83 to the Tri-State. And the northbound Veterans Memorial in pockets from 63rd to St. Charles. Then from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, pleasant. Some sunshine gives way to clouds. High 72. Currently 57. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And I got to say, this has been an interesting development. I've been reading this gentleman's work over the past several months. Mark Penn, who's a former advisor to President Bill Clinton. He's a campaign strategist for Hillary Clinton back in the day, not, I don't believe, during the 2016 race. But he seems to be one of the few Democrats in the D.C. chattering class that is asking legitimately skeptical questions about the conduct of law enforcement and intelligence agencies throughout this Russian collusion investigation and everything that's tangentially related to it, number one. And number two, recognizing that when you weaponize these agencies for political ends, well, if one administration can do it, then the next one will do it too. And this has the real potential to boomerang on Democrats in addition to undermine the legitimacy of, the federal government. Big problems for a representative republic potentially. So pleased to be joined by the aforesaid strategist, Mark Penn, who has also written a book, Microtrends Squared, the new small forces driving the big disruptions today. Mark, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. And so, as I mentioned, I've been reading your work, asking questions about, or questions that you think should be put to Bob Mueller, some of the skepticism you've leveled in the direction of the so-called deep state. And so I wonder how you received this New York Times story this week about Operation Crossfire Hurricane, which, among other things, reported that there was at least one FBI government informant in the Trump camp during the campaign, and that the Obama administration, again, this is New York Times reporting, used its counterintelligence powers to investigate the Trump campaign during the campaign.
Well, let me just say first that, I spent a year working with President Clinton fighting Ken Starr, and so I felt that process was wrong, and I think this process is wrong. Frankly, this process seems even worse.
Okay.
In what way?
Well, because the process when you think about it, has interviewed or drawn in virtually every person who worked on the campaign, virtually every person working in the administration, turned them upside down, caused them to get lawyers. How can anyone participate in a campaign or government, as this idea that, well, boy, if we're looking for Russia collusion, it could be anywhere. And it justified this largest open-ended search that basically rummaged through the government and campaigns. And so I think that this is far worse. At least when we dealt with Monica Lewinsky, they only interviewed a few people, right? And so this has taken on that kind. And this New York Times story, I think, is laughable. I mean, you have former and current members of the FBI and the Justice Department, essentially before this Inspector General's report comes out, leaking their side of the story that their only problem was they weren't tough enough on Trump. It's laughable, really, when you read it. And look at the beginning. I found very interesting in the beginning. They say, well, in the beginning, these FBI agents were very interested in talking to this Australian diplomat about what he had found, and they had to break protocol because the guy was not an intelligence agent to find out about this conversation months ago. Now, what does the Times leave out? How did the FBI get the idea that they should talk to this Australian diplomat?
Right.
Where did it come from? Well, this Australian diplomat signed a $25 million contribution from the Australian government to the Clinton Foundation. He knew them all. The implication is this went to the Clinton Foundation people, to the State Department, to the FBI, and it's humorous that article is written and they leave out the most obvious fact, which is who told them about this guy. So, look, there's so much that's dubious about the opening of this investigation that, yes, I felt quite strongly I had to speak out because anybody could see it.
But on some of the specific other, reported pieces in that Times piece, like the idea that you had an FBI asset in the Trump campaign, do you just count that? Do you think this is just them, flacking for favored parties within their source community, like you said in advance of the Horowitz report? Or, is this something that's troubling on the order of the state being used for political ends?
Well, we don't know yet. We look, it's pretty clear that the Pfizer warrants were based on some combination of this laughable Papadopoulos conversation and the Steele document that really was never verified. Now, is this a new aspect that at the same, it appears in that story that on the basis of virtually nothing, they basically targeted 4 people. And maybe they use this additional technique. Maybe that's exactly what's being held back from the documents that the Republicans can't get. We don't technically know enough yet to make that conclusion. I think there's clear breadcrumbs here, and I suspect in the next couple of days, we will find out whether this gets added to the pie or not.
You've written about some of the conflicts as well that beset T. Mueller, or at least there should be questions about those conflicts. There was a report earlier in this week, I believe it was in The Hill as well, about a Russian oligarch who had been enlisted by Mueller when he was at FBI to try and do a rescue in Iran of a CIA operative there. Things that are, sort of coming out that would tend to undermine the integrity of whatever is ultimately produced by this special counsel. And I wonder how you see some of these putative conflicts.
Well, look, the conflicts here are so rife. Mueller was a friend of Comey. If the Inspector General's report blows Comey out of the water, then those conflicts will come right to the fore. Rosenstein wrote the memo suggesting that Comey be fired, and he's running the whole thing. None of this makes sense. Now, John Solomon wrote about this, Russian oligarch, and I happen to have a lot of confidence in in John Sullivan. But I think the overriding fact is if the special counsel thought that the Cohen stuff had an actual connection to Russia, he would never have sent this case to New York. It would have been clearly within his ambit. So he had already checked this out, and after checking this out, put the case, over to the Southern District, which means that this connecting of the dots. So he knows, and they invest, and and that proves it's a Russian connection. It's obviously of no value whatsoever.
One theory. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one theory on that too was in terms of the political maneuvering of Rosenstein and Mueller. One theory was also, the reason they kicked that over Southern District was in the event that Trump did pull the trigger and fire Rosenstein or fire Mueller, you still had the Southern District of New York with an active case.
Oh, I think definitely. When how is it that he's going back to 2005 stuff on Manafort and he's kicking this case over to the Southern District? I agree that he was spreading the wings of this investigation even further. And most, I think, importantly, is that the actual U.S. attorney that Trump appointed recused himself. So you have this situation where who's actually running this Southern District investigation? Probably Preet Bharara, supporters from the guy who was fired, because you have this bizarre situation where the Attorney General and even the U.S. Attorney, the appointed people on the line for this, are in fact not making these decisions, and you have a government within the government that seems to be able to run by itself without accountability. It's incredible.
It's like an episode of Billions. It really is. Mm-hmm. And so the implications of this too. I mean, this transcends partisan politics. And am I right in suggesting that one of your concerns with everything happening here is that you have the institutionalization of weaponizing these agencies with huge and sometimes, it seems, unchecked law enforcement power? And so if it's a Republican, they can use the machinery to target Democrats, and Democrats use it to charge Republicans, and both parties work in concert to undermine this representative Republican form of government we have.
I am hugely concerned about this because I think that we should settle our differences through elections. And that if every time we have an election result we don't like, if we try basically to get an investigation on all of his friends, compatriots, himself and his family, that is just not, the American system, and it will degenerate even further. That's why, I have been so clear. I think more Democrats and Republicans should join together to end this thing. This has been now, 1 to 2 years of investigation of something that was never found, in any realistic way, and that it undermines. Look, I know from the inside that if you're the President of the United States and his advisors, this is a factor in your daily life. It distracts you needlessly from running the country. It makes people worried about what they say, requiring them to take notes, not take notes, make decisions a certain way. It is really distorting of our government. It's why it's such a pernicious process. It's why we have the Bill of Rights in the first place.
He is a former advisor to President Bill Clinton, a strategist for Hillary Clinton, the author of the book Microtrends Squared, The New Small Forces Driving the Big Disruptions Today. And you should follow Mark Penn's writings at thehill.com as well on these and related topics. Mark, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, it's here. Live coverage begins on cable stations at 7 o'clock tonight. And, we have some breaking news. There's a active shooter incident at a high school near Galveston, Texas. We'll bring you the latest. But first, here's your forecast. Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 72. Your weekend looks like this. Rain tonight, and then morning rain tomorrow, otherwise cloudy, a high of 74. And on Sunday, a spotty thunderstorm or shower, a high of just 66. Let's get into the alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Amy on the inbound Kennedy. Delays are from Irving Park to Randolph. 44 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 34 from Montrose. 35 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose. 32 to the airport. The only Edens delays are outbound and pockets from Toohey to Skokie Road, but no more than 5 minutes worth of delays. Von Eisenhower, an hour, 390 to downtown, 37 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 52 minutes to 390. Police activity near Pulaski. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 30 minutes, 80-94 to the ride. Tri-State slow southbound from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from the Stevenson to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway still tight, 83 to the Tri-State. And the northbound Veterans Memorial in pockets from 63rd to St. Charles and then from Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Your business is moving fast. It has to. Competition is stronger than ever. You've got a lot to deal with to keep your business moving forward. But there are some things you should delegate to others. It's the only way to concentrate on what you do best and for your business to thrive. What Turnkey IT does best is take care of every aspect of your computer and IT systems. When you go all in, they become a partner in your business's success. Your staff doesn't have time or the resources to keep up on the latest computer and software upgrades, potential threats, or know when it's time to upgrade equipment. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and more. Plus, new hardware every 4 years. Whether your business is 1 person or 200, keep it moving in the fast lane. Go all in with Turnkey IT by your side.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and you know I love resting my head each night on a MyPillow. It's the only way I get proper rest and deal with Dan every morning. For the rest of your body, get the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy, cozy, and relaxed. The MyPillow mattress topper is 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight and helps relieve pressure points, plus keeps your body temperature regulated all night long. No more too hot or too cold. You'll get the same 10-year warranty you get with the MyPillow, plus the 60-day money-back guarantee, and it's made in America. Best of all, with the promo code Amy, you'll get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard pillows. No kidding, 2 standard MyPillows for free. Go online or call now and don't miss out. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit tastycatering.com. tastycatering.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. Two different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He's too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
Sometimes you feel like this. Like you're digging a hole you just can't get out of. It can happen to anybody. You just never expected it to be you. And now you need a solution to get you out of financial trouble. Not just a nameless voice on the phone, but a partner that can offer true tax relief. Joseph Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. can throw you a lifeline and pull you out of the consuming dark hole that is your owed back taxes. Are you ready for your personal tax relief? No salesperson, no middlemen. You'll work directly with owner Joseph Shadle of Tax Relief Inc., an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist in the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joseph now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. Don't wait. Call Tax Relief Inc. today, 630-655-1040, or visit taxreliefinc.com. That's taxreliefinc.com.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed. Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh my gosh, you only left a minute to talk about the royal wedding.
That is 58 seconds more than is necessary. Where are you going to station for the watch starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow?
I'm getting up in the home, and I might go to AJ Hudson's. They're having a little shindig, a little tea and crumpets, to watch the royal wedding all day. It's so exciting. So it starts at, actually, CNN's going to go live from Windsor Castle, outside of Windsor Castle, at 8 p.m. tonight, so that's 7 o'clock our time.
Don Lemon is going to wear a replica dress, the one Meghan Markle.
Stop it. And then the ceremony begins at 6 a.m. our time. Now, if you want to see guests arriving and Meghan Markle, that would be 5:30 our time. So do you guys want me to wake you guys up?
I think we should. I think you should do a special Saturday live coverage here of all.
Come on in.
Yeah. Don't you think, Mike?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to have to work the weekends. Yeah. Peter, yeah. No, I can't wait to watch, though. I'm so excited because, this is an American marrying into the royal family. A Northwestern grad, a Kappa Kappa Gamma. This will never happen in our lifetime. Ever. All right? And divorced, soon-to-be king, Prince Charles is walking her halfway down the aisle. She's going to go by herself halfway, then he's going to join her and then just present her to the Archbishop of Canterbury.
An American actress has already done this
I know,
one
Grace
time
Kelly.
in the 1930s. Not Grace Kelly.
Oh,
That was Monaco.
Oh, Monaco. Well, I'm saying an American actress becoming a princess.
Yeah, it about ruined the monarchy last time.
Yeah, well.
Well, who was it? Okay, we'll get back to
I blacked out again.
No.
Well, after you said AJ Hudson's, I went somewhere else. I'm
Thanks
sorry.
to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, and
Not going to
Keith
give
Conrad.
a history lesson again.
Here is Mike Scott. Give over the info.
Chicago playing